please call our trouble hotline at 336-831-0861. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this basketball game broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for this basketball game broadcast. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this basketball game broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear touchdown, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Touchdown! Studio, start your archive recording. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds, stations. Have fun.
The following is a presentation of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Commit to the G. Dog Nation, please welcome the 23rd head men's basketball coach in Georgia history, Mike White. It is going to happen here at Georgia.
All that Jabri Abdur-Rahim from the right corner. Take a backdoor feed on the bounce pass. Window on the two-handed dunk.
This is Georgia basketball.
Georgia will win it. How about your dog?
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, this is Georgia basketball. Brought to you by Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Live fast, eat well with Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Georgia Farm Bureau, always the home team. And by Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont empowers Georgians by changing healthcare, making it better, more simplified, and easier to access. Real change lives here. This is the Grindhouse Killer Burgers Bulldog Courtside Show. Now to Courtside, along with Chuck Dowdle. Here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of Georgia Bulldogs basketball as we begin the 118th season for this university, and Chuck Dowdle's been here for every one of them. Bulldogs will play their season opener. I resemble that remark. The Bulldogs will play their season opener as they host the Catamounts of Western Carolina here inside Stegman Coliseum in Athens. And for the most part, this team has a brand new feel to it and a new head coach and coaching staff. The roster consists of 5 returning players, 9 new faces headed up by Coach Mike White, who left Florida at the end of last season after 7 years in Gainesville to take the Georgia job following the dismissal of Coach Tom Crean after his 4 years here in Athens. Mike White says year one will certainly be a rebuild after last year's team lost 26 games, but that this group will play competitive basketball. And we'll get our first chance to see that tonight. We've got the Bulldogs and Western Carolina coming up. This is the Bulldogs Courtside Show. It's brought to you by Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Live fast, eat well with Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Our producer-engineer is the road dog, Adam Gillespie. Luke Nadkarni is our network studio host and producer. We are in game one of a doubleheader right now. The Lady Bulldogs are opening their season as well against Coastal Carolina. The men's game will begin 30 minutes after the conclusion of tonight's women's basketball broadcast. So we'll kickstart our broadcast as we open Chuck Dowdle's microphone again when we return here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is committed to protecting the state of Georgia. No one knows Georgia like we do because no one covers the state like we do. Georgia families are our only focus, and we have offices in just about every county of this state. You can call it our home field advantage. No matter where you are in Georgia, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is always the home team.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger's Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
This is Georgia Basketball, sponsored by Progressive. Life is full of challengeable moments. One thing no one would challenge, protecting your home and car by switching to Progressive. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
Hey Georgia, if you love playing Fantasy 5, you're gonna love it even more because we're giving away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. Now through November 27th, 5 winners each week will win just by playing Fantasy 5. And the cash stack grows to $10,000. Play online or enter your non-winning Fantasy 5 ticket at fantasy5giveaway.com for your chance to be a weekly winner. It all ends November 27th, so play Fantasy 5 during the Stacks of Cash giveaway, only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Welcome back to Athens, Stegman Coliseum. Opening night for Georgia Bulldogs basketball. We're going to have an extended pregame for you tonight, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the Bulldogs Courtside Show. It's brought to you by Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Live fast, eat well with Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Along with Chuck Dowdle, I'm Scott Howard. Again, our producer-engineer, the road dog, Adam Gillespie, and Luke is in our network studios. We'll be hearing from him in just a little bit. A lot of games. It's opening night everywhere in college hoops, Chuck, and we'll get to see practically a brand-new team for Georgia tonight when they take the floor here in a little bit. The fourth quarter of the women's game is just about set to begin, so we've got a little bit more time.
A little bit of time
before we get to the men's game.
Well, it's an exciting time of the year, no doubt about that, Scott. You mentioned that I've seen them all.
We'll get to see practically a brand-new team for Georgia tonight when they take the floor here in a little bit. The fourth quarter of the women's game is just about set to begin, so we've got a little bit more time.
A little bit of time
before we get to the men's game.
Well, it's an exciting time of the year, no doubt about that, Scott. You mentioned that I've seen them all. Well, let me just tell you.
Start from the beginning.
At the very beginning,
tell us about each one.
Coliseum. And then there was basketball. No, I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting season just from the standpoint of, it's Mike White's initial season. This man has been incredibly successful as a head basketball coach, and unfortunately we've been on the short end of the stick many times in facing his teams. But I'm really excited to see what he can do for the Dogs. He's already been able, just in working the transfer portal, I think, to bring in some players that will really help us this season. Now, they've got to stay healthy, and we got to, get them to blend together. But I do think that fans will enjoy what they see. I'll promise you this, there's going to be some defense played. And we've already seen some of that. And as the offense starts to come around, which will take some time, don't expect a lot of that at the very start because that's something that you kind of build into. But as the offense starts to come around, I think the Dogs will be just fine.
This group had one of those super secret, top secret scrimmages in October, and then they had open to the public exhibition game last week against Georgia College here in this building, and that was everybody's first public chance to see what this team will look like. From what you've seen so far, Mike has told us this is going to be a rebuilding year. I mean, we're 6-26 last year, 9 guys gone.
Well, this is going to be a better record than that, and they're going to win more than one SEC game.
My question is, how much of a rebuild do you see coming for year number 1 with Mike White?
Well, it's definitely, we're going to take our lumps, and no doubt about it. There are going to be some games when, when I know Mike's going to throw up his hands in frustration. But, he's a guy that's going to get right back to working at it to make sure that things get fixed immediately. And I do believe that Georgia's going to end up with more wins than a lot of people think they will, and particularly in conference play. I think the Dogs have been able to bring in some good talent. We saw a young man, Moncrief, that came in from Oklahoma State that looked like a quality SEC player on the floor last week in our exhibition game against Middle Georgia College. And then when you blend that with Cario Oquendo, who was the leading SEC scorer returning to his roster this year. He averaged over 18 points a game in league play last year, and he is back. That's the top in the conference for returning player. And so, I think the Dogs have, and you got Braylon Bridges back in there at 6'10", 6'11". I think that Georgia's got a chance to be much improved over that 6-win team of last year. I would go as far as to say I expect double-digit victories out of Georgia this year.
The roster looks like this: 5 returning players, 1 scholarship freshman. That's Kyron Lindsey, who was if you're into the star thing, he was a 4-star young man from Denton, Texas, a top 100 player by most recruiting services, 6'7", 205, freshman forward. We saw him in the exhibition with Georgia College earlier this week, or last week rather. He went 5 for 6, had 10 points, and he's learning on the fly like all these other guys here in their first experience in Athens. But he's a player that can be effective around the basket, use both hands. We've got 6 transfers. Let's tell you who they are. Terry Roberts is a 6'3" guard, transfer from Bradley. He played junior college ball with Cario at Florida Southwestern State down in South Florida. So those two guys are familiar with one another. Jusan Holt, that's Juice, 6'7" guard, is a transfer from Alabama. Moncrief, that you mentioned, M.A., Matthew Alexander Moncrief, the transfer from Oklahoma State. You've also got Mardrez McBride, a 6'2" guard, a 5th-year kid, a transfer from North Texas. His hometown is Augusta, Georgia. Justin Hill is another guard for Coach Mike White from Longwood University, 6 feet tall. He's from Houston, Texas. Frank Anselm could really help this team. Anselm, 6'10", 215.
Out of Syracuse.
A transfer from Syracuse. And he's going to be a guy that we rely on to go to the glass for us. He had 15 rebounds as a career high twice at Syracuse last season. He's not going to get 15 boards every night, but Georgia's going to look to him
the kind
for a lot
of kid
help.
that can do that. He's capable of that, and he's also capable of protecting that rim for you. And that's what you're going to be looking for from him. He's not going to be a scorer, not a high scorer for you, but he can definitely give you some defense.
2 other players are both freshman walk-ons for this team. Brandon Platsky, a 6'2" freshman guard from Colts Neck, New Jersey, and Jaden Newell. 2 other players are both freshman walk-ons for this team. Brandon Platsky, a 6'2" freshman guard from Colts Neck, New Jersey, and Jaden Newell is a 6'8" freshman forward from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and they both either have connections to the university or to Coach Mike White. So that's the team this year. And then the 5 returning players, Jabri Abdul-Rahim, Cario Oquendo, Jackson Etter, Braylon Bridges, and then 7th-year guy, 25-year-old Jalen Ingram, who suffered a torn ACL in December against Jacksonville last year. Not fully back yet, not 100% back, is able to participate a little bit in practice, but he is on the mend and hopefully can return and help this team at some point during the season.
And just so people understand you didn't make a mistake, repeat again, what year is this for him?
Yeah, he's one of 5 7th-year players,
7th-year
in NCAA basketball this year.
That's amazing.
And, of course, COVID has a lot to do with that. Guys got an extra year of eligibility. And then,
he had the injury.
He got a special waiver last year with a medical red shirt because he only played games up until early December when he sustained that injury.
And if he's back healthy, he could be a huge help because we were saying, in fact, I know you remember this, when he was injured here at Stegman Coliseum, I remember it brought Coach Crean to tears.
Yeah.
I mean he was a kid because he's that kind of a kid, just a great kid with tremendous upside and great ability, and tore that knee, and we got to just get him back and have him healthy, and he'll be a tremendous addition.
From right down the road in Madison, Georgia, and had a tremendous career in his undergraduate days at Florida Atlantic University, and scored over 1,300 points and over 600 rebounds, and and hopefully can contribute to this Georgia team as the season goes on. New coaching staff as well, in addition to head coach Mike White. The guys that he's assembled on his staff, Antonio Reynolds Dean, who played his high school ball at Douglas High School in Atlanta, left Clemson to come to Athens. This is his first year here. He played for Jim Herrick at Rhode Island. And Antonio does great work in the gym with these guys in practice. Eric Pastrana coached with Mike at Florida last year. He's also been an assistant at Oklahoma State, at Florida Atlantic, and at FIU. And Akeem Miskadeen is the third assistant on the team. He coached at Florida last year as well. He's also been an assistant at FAU, Kent State, and at Hampton University. So that's the group. That's what we're looking at this year. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names, and we're going to see what they go for real tonight for the first time.
But I'll tell you what, there are some names very familiar to Bulldog basketball fans that are also associated with the program, and that's great to see. And Kenny Gaines, Charles Mann, back with the jobs working with Coach White, and that's wonderful to see, to have that legacy and to have it infused into this group of players.
We are in game one of a doubleheader tonight here on opening night in Athens. The Georgia women's team, the Lady Bulldogs, are taking on Coastal Carolina in their opener, and leading as we speak here in the fourth quarter by 16 points at 68-52. Georgia is leading. A little less than 6 minutes to go in the final period, and then 30 minutes on the countdown clock, and it'll be Georgia and Western Carolina tonight. We want to remind Dog fans to make sure you check out the official Georgia basketball digital game program each game day, and that includes today, at georgiadogs.com/digital. You can go there and check out tonight's game program for Georgia and Western Carolina. The Catamounts, with their head coach Justin Gray, now in his second year. They're coming off an 11-21 season last year. Georgia and Western played last year here in Athens. This will be the 9th meeting between the two teams, and Georgia has never lost to the Catamounts. And Western Carolina with a record of 2-43 all time against SEC opposition. So a little bit about tonight's game. We told you about the team. We'll hear from head coach Mike White in just a little bit pregame here as we go along to tip-off. We're going to go back to the studio, and Luke, can we do that now? Okay, let's send it back to our Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. Luke Nadkarni is standing by. Yes. Luke Nadkarni is standing by. He's going to get us up to date on what else is going on in college basketball. It is a full slate, folks, full slate in the SEC and around the country. So we've got plenty of college hoop news for you tonight as we get ready for Georgia and Western Carolina. We'll continue our countdown to tip-off. It's the Grindhouse Killer Burgers Courtside Show. Luke is coming up next from the Piedmont Healthcare Studios here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings.
Used plush leather seats or drove hundreds of miles without a slip in the sleet. Another drove far and yet was not stressed since she was cruising with intelligent GPS.
I've started guidance.
This holiday season, take on the ultimate drive when you buy a BMW 5 Series X7 or X5.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com today. Go Dogs!
Get ready for tip-off at the UGA Bookstore, featuring the best Bulldogs gifts and apparel. Shop all the great brands at the UGA Bookstore like Nike, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is the exclusive home of the UGA 10 collection by Peter Malone. The UGA Bookstore in the heart is next to the Tate Student Center. Shop online 24/7 at UGABookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Killer Burgers Bulldog Courtside Show. Now, scores and highlights from around college basketball. Let's go inside the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. Here's Luke Nadkarni.
Welcome into the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. Luke Nadkarni, happy to be with y'all for this 2022-23 men's basketball season as the curtain lifts on the Mike White era for the Georgia Bulldogs. Time to look at the SEC scoreboard and beyond on a busy opening night here on this first Monday in November. But first, we pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Georgia Bulldog Sports Network. All right, John, coming to you in To the scoreboard now, and starting right here at Stegman Coliseum, the first game of our doubleheader. Lady Dogs looking to salt it away against Coastal Carolina, and this one has been all Georgia.
Henderson asks for it, fakes the three to Battles on the left wing. Battles ducks and drives. Zoesha Smith back to Battles, 17 to shoot. Under 5 to play. We'll have a timeout at the next stoppage. Henderson on the left wing, left baseline, turnaround, money, Javin Nicholson from 10.
Jeff Dantzler on the call. Javin Nicholson leading 3 Lady Dogs in double figures with 14 points. Over to the men's side now. A few games in action right now. The fourth-ranked Kentucky Wildcats opening up at home against Howard, and they are having no trouble with the Bison. 63-31. Kentucky in front, playing without Oscar Shibwe, and there's 15-10 left in the second half of that ball game. They are at halftime from Knoxville at the Thompson Bowling Arena. Number 11, Tennessee, holds a 27-16 lead over their in-state foes, Tennessee Tech from Cookeville. Bit of a slower start for the SEC team at the hump in Starkville. 8-minute mark of the first half, and Mississippi State, they're cold. They trail Texas A&M Corpus Christi 23-13. Again, 12 minutes into the first half in that ball game in Starkville, which is, by the way, where the next football game for the Bulldogs will be taking place. 7 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday night, 3 o'clock airtime here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Continuing with the SEC schedule, lots of action tipping off at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, or shortly thereafter. Number 10, Arkansas hosts North Dakota State at Bud Walton Arena. Number 15, Auburn is home on the Plains, taking on George Mason. Vanderbilt meets Memphis at Memorial Gym. Texas A&M welcomes UL Monroe. Mizzou plays host to newly minted D1 opponent Southern Indiana, and Florida entertains Stony Brook at the O-Dome. All those games scheduled for 8 o'clock tips. Later on this evening in the SEC, 20th-ranked Alabama tips off its season at Coleman Coliseum against defending Big South champion Longwood. That game is at 8:30. Longwood, if you remember, played Tennessee in the 3-14 game in the South region of the NCAA tournament last year and fell to the Volunteers. One more SEC game on the slate this evening at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Ole Miss is at the Pavilion playing against the Alcorn State Braves. Looking at the top 25 scoreboard now, plenty of games in action, including the number 7 favorite in the ACC, Duke Blue Devils, at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Inside it goes. Marsh trying to back down on Young. No dice. Put the shoulder to him and lost it. Mitchell out of there with it. 5-on-3 to the left and Roach. His three is good.
Jeremy Roach for the first 3 of the season for the Blue Devils, and they're up 10-6.
David Shoemate and John Roth on the call from the Blue Devil Sports Network. It's halftime in Durham, and it's 42-26. Duke in front. Jeremy Roach, who you heard in that highlight, has 16 of those points for John Shire's club in his first regular season game as head coach, replacing the great Mike Krzyzewski. Other top 25 games in progress. Number 16, Villanova, with a 21-point lead, 9:21 to play in the second half on their cross-Philadelphia rivals, the LaSalle Explorers. And number 22, Michigan, in Big Ten action, having no trouble with Purdue Fort Wayne.
16:08 to play. Michigan up 47-31. Dickinson to Buffkin left point, lost the handle, regathers, distributes to Jett Howard, up to Dickinson, one dribble, he'll go up for the dunk, and a foul on Desjardins. Dickinson flicked him away, and he'll go to the line for an and one when we come back.
Brian Bush on the call from Learfield. The 22nd ranked Wolverines all over the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne. 59-40. Hunter Dickinson, those were 2 of his 20 points. He's also got 10 rebounds for a double-double in the season opener. Number 13, Indiana, staying in the Big Ten. They have a 12-point lead over Morehead State at halftime. Tracy Jackson Davis on his way to a double-double too. 13.7 rebounds for the big man for Indiana. And number 24, Dayton, is another top 25 team in progress. They have a 14-point lead over Lindenwood, 35-21 at UD Arena at the half. 8 o'clock tip-offs in the top 25. Third-ranked Houston plays host to Northern Colorado at the Fertitta Center in the Space City. Also at 8 o'clock, beware the fog. 5th-ranked Kansas hosts the Omaha Mavericks at Allen Fieldhouse. Staying in the Big 12, number 14, TCU hosts Arkansas Pine Bluff in an 8 o'clock Eastern Time tip-off. And at 8:30, the 9th-ranked Creighton Blue Jays welcome St. Thomas of Minnesota to Division I. They will host the Tommies in the first game at that level of competition. That, again, is an 8:30 tip-off from Omaha. 9 o'clock tips in the ACC. Top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels taking on an in-state foe, UNC Wilmington. Also at 9 o'clock in the ACC from the venerable John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia, the 18th-ranked Cavaliers under Tony Bennett will welcome North Carolina Central. The number 2 team in the country is also in action tonight. Number 2 Gonzaga takes on North Florida at the Kennel in Spokane. That game at 9 o'clock as well. And also at 9, 3 more top 25 teams. Number 12 Texas hosts UTEP. Number 23 Illinois entertains in-state foe Eastern Illinois. And 25th ranked Texas Tech is at home against Northwestern State. At 9:30, the top 25 action continues with number 17 Arizona playing host to Nicholls State, and number 19 San Diego State at 10 o'clock taking on Cal State Fullerton at Viejas Arena. A couple more top 25 tips. Number 21 Oregon plays host to Florida A&M at Matthew Knight Arena, and at 10 o'clock, and at 11:30, the latest tip-off of the night, number 8 UCLA is against Sacramento State at Pauley Pavilion. One final from the top 25. They played this one back in the afternoon. Number 5 Baylor has no trouble in their opener, 117-53 in Waco over Mississippi Valley State. And to the gridiron, one game in action tonight, Monday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens are in New Orleans taking on the Saints. 5-3 are the Ravens, looking to run their record on the road to 4-1, while the Saints looking to even their record at home at 3-3. That game will kick off in about 15 minutes, 8:15 Eastern Time. There's a comprehensive look at the scoreboard in college basketball tonight. And we can tell you also that the Georgia women just finished it off against Coastal Carolina, 78-61 the final, as the Coach Abe era begins with a win for the Lady Dogs. We'll take a timeout. Coming up, Scott sits down with another new head coach, Dogs men's basketball coach Mike White, in our pregame interview presented by Ford. Straight ahead on the Georgia Bulldog Sports Network.
Game day is full of ifs. Like if Georgia can take home another national championship title. Who knows? But if you want the most convenient way to pay in Athens, get the Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Tap to pay contactless card technology and Lock-It card controls give you what you need on game day or any day. To order your card, visit regions.com/GoDogs. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Like holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family-made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
No matter your favorite game day traditions, it all starts with a cup of coffee to get you ready to cheer on a Bulldogs win. Community Coffee is a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs, serving Bulldog Nation with rich and smooth blends crafted right here in the USA. We've supported and celebrated thriving communities like the UGA family for over 100 years, and we believe there's no better day than game day for bringing people together. Community Coffee, strong as our roots.
We are getting closer to tip-off. Time now for a visit with the Dogs head coach, Mike White. With the coach, here's Scott Howard.
Back here at Stegman Coliseum with Georgia head coach Mike White. And Mike, 8 months, a lot of work since you got to Athens to get to this moment.
Yeah.
What has that been like? What's the last 8 months been like for you to put together this team and your staff and to gear it up for game number 1 of the season?
What's it been like? When you say 8 months, I would have thought 3 or 4 months. Just the feeling, it's been an absolute blur. It's been rewarding to see my family settle a little bit, but on a professional side, more importantly, here as we're about to tip it up, we've got a really good group of guys. I really like our staff. I like our support staff, and our young men on a daily basis have grinded at a pretty high level. They're pretty connected. We've got a certain level of chip on our shoulder. Daily, we talk about a fresh start, a new version of Georgia basketball, and an opportunity to make a bang. All of us, we're excited.
Tell us a little bit about this team that you've put together.
Well, we've got 6 portal guys, of course, in addition to a high school high-level player in Kyron Lindsey from Texas, and 5 returners from last year's team from this Georgia program that were really excited and honored to come back, and again, wanting to be a part of a rebirth, if you will. So we've got an interesting mix. We've got some young, some old, some winning experience, mostly from the portal, albeit a lower level or a limited role at a higher level, in terms of Frank Anselm and M.A. Moncrief. I'm probably leaving somebody out, but we've got to gain winning experience on the fly collectively this year.
Is there going to be patience involved with this whole process? Do you have it? Does the team have it? Is that what is that what you're looking for?
Patience is not one of my strongest characteristics. You can ask anyone that knows me well. That said, we've got to continue to remind ourselves that we got a ways to go. This thing ain't going to happen overnight, and it can't be drudgery for these young men. They're working their butts off, and we're going to make some mistakes. There's going to be some trial and error. We've already gone through some pivots and some left turns and right turns offensively to try to find ourselves. So we're behind offensively. We're challenged there a little bit, but I think as you watch us tonight, you'll see that these guys will lay it on the line defensively. They'll sit in stance. We'll gang rebound. We'll play with some physicality. We'll dive on the floor. We'll play hard. We just got to find a way to define some roles early on with a new era and a new staff, a whole new. Every one of these guys is new to me, right? And you want to give these guys an opportunity to compete, for roles. And so we're a little bit behind in terms of if this was our 3rd, 4th, 5th year, right, with a bunch of returners. But that goes probably for a few teams in our league. And so I think a month from now we'll be markedly better offensively than we are today. That said, we're better right now than we were a couple weeks ago for sure.
What do you envision that offense looking like? What's Georgia offense going to look like middle of the season, towards the end of the season? What's your hope for that?
Sure. We got to shoot it better than we have so far to this point. I know it's the opener, of course, but we've had a couple opportunities versus other opponents and a bunch of inter-squad opportunities, and we've got to shoot it better. That said, we don't need to rely on the 3 as much, and that's one of the ways we're pounding that thing on the interior a little bit more than I ever have, or I have probably since Louisiana Tech. We got to get better on the offensive glass. That could be a strength for us. We've got to drive it better. We're not a great passing team right now, so we're working on it every day. We've got to get to the foul line, and we got to define some roles. When Braylon Bridges is in the game, he's got to touch it because that's his biggest strength. That's what he can bring us the most. When the ball's in his hands, that's where he's at his best. We got to get Cario Aquendo some driving lanes. That said, we got to make some shots to do that. We've got to get some inside-out action. He's got to get in the offensive glass. We've got to get some guys making shots off the bench. We've got some veteran wings in Jabri, Jason Holt, Jackson Eder. 1 or 2 of those guys have got to step up for us, whether they start or not. And then our point guard play has actually been a strength of ours so far in practice from Terry Roberts and Justin Hill. So we hope that continues versus Division I opponents.
Is Terry available for you tonight?
He is. Yeah, Terry is. He's back. He's practiced really well for about a week. He's in good spirits, and he's a good player. He's one of our best players. Justin Hill's pretty good too. Mardrez McBride has got a chance to log some minutes here too. He'll get the nod tonight. Frank Anselm will get the nod because he's just earned it. He's practiced really well.
Last thing for you, tell us about Jalen Ingram. What's his status? How has he looked coming back from the knee injury last year?
Yeah, Great young man. He's the old soul in the locker room. What he says holds weight, of course. He's fun to be around. He's magnetic, and he's worked his butt off, and he's a talented guy, and I hope that he can get back to where he's 100%. He's cleared to a certain extent. He's working his way back in through practice. He's not 100% physically, but he's adding to this team in different ways.
Yeah, great experience there, and that's something that you can pick from that with the other guys, especially the young guys with a seventh-year player. You don't have many of those in college basketball.
Yeah, I've never heard of another one. And you hope
he's one of 5, actually. I saw that today. Yeah, one of 5 in all of basketball, so that's pretty special.
It's incredible. He's earned it. He's worked really hard. Lance has done a great job. Our medical people have done a great job getting him to this point, and I know he's frustrated that he's not back quite at 100%, and we need him. We need him to get there.
Mike, thanks very much. Good luck tonight. Season opener. I know it's exciting for you, and we'll catch up with you after the game. Good luck.
Great being here with you. Excited to be a dog tonight. Let's go.
All right. That's Coach Mike White, and we will take a timeout and come back for starting lineups. When we return, it's Georgia and Western Carolina tonight here in the opener on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's time to cheer on the Bulldogs with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth, and at 5% alcohol, it's got the perfect kick to turn things up on game day. It's time to stock up for the season. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted. Please drink responsibly. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Piedmont is passionate about Georgia, about each and every person that make this state incredible. From farmers to creators, manufacturers to teachers, to the dedicated staff walking our hallways. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to empower you through tools that make it easy to book in minutes, check in before you walk in, and have your health information all in one place. Visit Piedmont.org. Piedmont, real change lives here.
This is Georgia Basketball, sponsored by Progressive. Life is full of challengeable moments. One thing no one would challenge, protecting your home and car by switching to Progressive. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is committed to protecting the state of Georgia. No one knows Georgia like we do because no one covers the state like we do. Georgia families are our only focus, and we have offices in just about every county of the state. You can call it our home field advantage. No matter where you are in Georgia, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is always the home team.
To the G.
Dog Nation, please welcome the 23rd head men's basketball coach in Georgia history, Mike White.
It is going to happen here at Georgia.
Oh, that's Jabri Abdur-Rahim from the right corner. Sick of backdoor feed on the bounce pass. Window with a two-handed dunk.
This is Georgia basketball.
Georgia will win it. How about your dog?
The Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome to live play-by-play coverage of Dogs basketball. Georgia basketball is brought to you by Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont empowers Georgians by changing healthcare, making it better, more simplified, and easier to access. Real change lives here. Now, alongside Chuck Dowdle, let's go courtside and join the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Welcome back inside Stegman Coliseum here in Athens, Georgia, for tonight's season opener for the Georgia men's basketball team. The Lady Bulldogs had their season opener earlier this evening, just completed it. You heard Luke give you that final score as Georgia was a winner over Western Carolina here a few moments ago to improve to 1-0 in the new era of women's basketball. And now it's time for the new era of men's basketball to crank it up. Georgia and Western Carolina. We're still about 20 minutes or so away from this one tipping off. The women's game went probably longer than expected, Chuck, right at 2 hours. And they put 30 minutes on the clock between games, so we're going to start not at 8 o'clock as originally set, but probably closer to, what, 8:30, 8:35. Maybe we'll get the tip between these two teams going, but we'll be here for it.
If they do it exactly 30, which I think they started that clock right about then, it was 8:01 when the game officially ended. But I will say this. Great crowd here at Stegman Coliseum. This worked well to have a doubleheader. I think folks got here early. They were able to see the women's team, make their season debut, and now stick around here and enjoy the men's basketball team as they take the floor. So, it's a two for the price of one. We love those.
Coming off the weekend victory for the football team, and what a weekend that was on Saturday to kind of start things. And then today, more good news for Georgia sports as the Georgia soccer team picks up an at-large bid to the NCAA women's soccer tournament for the first time in 8 seasons. Georgia going 12-5-3 this year, 5-3-2 in the SEC, and they earn the number 7 seed in the Chapel Hill regional, and they will host Samford this Friday, November 11th at 6 o'clock at the Turner Soccer Complex in the NCAA tournament. That, of course, here in Athens. So congratulations to the women's soccer team for all they accomplished this season.
No doubt. I mean, that's a real feather in the cap. And now you got our volleyball team out of win right here at Stegman. And by the way, kudos to the Stegman crew getting this changed over. They had volleyball in here last night against Arkansas. Georgia got out of here with a win over Arkansas, and they're having a good season. And now get this thing flipped over for basketball, the doubleheader.
Other news today, the University of Georgia Athletic Association will hold a celebration of life service for former head football coach and athletics director Vince Dooley. That's coming up on Friday, November 25th. It'll be here inside Stegman Coliseum at 7:30, and that will be a service that is open and free to the public, and all the policies that go into events inside the buildings here on campus, the clear bag policy, all of that type of stuff will be in effect, but a chance for the general public to pay their respects and to come and celebrate the life of the longtime former head football coach Vince Dooley, who passed away recently at the age of 9.
And Coach Dooley, I posted on Facebook, you never thought that we'd ever be without him, and it's still taking some getting used to, not seeing him, seeing him around, but what a bulldog, and not only was he, instrumental in so much that is Georgia athletics, but in all of college athletics, and he was certainly, without question, he was one of the key pillars that the Southeastern Conference was built on, and in so many areas. So, the 20. I know the public's been wanting to know when that will be, and they want that opportunity. And November 25th here at Stegman, I believe you said it's at 7 o'clock in the evening, and they'll have an opportunity to pay their respects to perhaps one of the greatest Bulldogs ever.
Yeah, actually 7:30 is the start time for that on November 25th, which, what is that? That's the Friday after Thanksgiving and the day before the home game against Georgia Tech. So there will already be, folks in town for Georgia football, certainly, and I have a feeling that a seat might be hard to find here inside Stegman Coliseum for that on November 25th. And
I got to tell just a quick Coach Dooley story, and I'm told today that the ceremony will be the opportunity for that service, that celebration of life will be here at Stegman Coliseum. And I'm thinking, when I was playing freshman basketball here, and I remember Coffin Westbrook out of Isla, Georgia, and Coffin and I remember us in here in Stegman shooting one day before practice, and Coach Dooley had just finished football practice, and he came in and shot around with us. And we were you know, he was a good basketball player, and he came in and shot baskets with us. And Coffin and I were like, we're freshmen, and we were like, our eyes were like bugging out that we're playing basketball, you know, shooting basketball here with the head football coach, Vince Dooley. But you know, and then getting to know him through the years, and you know, he was such an accomplished man in so many areas, so many fields. You know, as an author, a historian, a horticulturist, just, I mean, you name it, Coach Dooley did it. He was just one of a kind.
Certainly a true Renaissance man by definition. And, you know, some other football news that was released today. Stetson Bennett, Malachi Starks, and Jalen Carter have all been recognized by the SEC, their weekly honors after their performances in the win over Tennessee. Stetson Bennett is the league's co-offensive player of the week after his performance against Tennessee. He had a touchdown run that got the scoring started for Georgia, a 13-yard touchdown run. He had touchdown passes and guided the Dogs to a 27-13 win over the previous number one, according to the College Football Playoff poll rankings last week.
And you know what? And I got to tell you, the SEC needs to hand out an award to all 92,000 of those Georgia fans. That Sanford Stadium, Dooley Field, that was off the chain. That was really off the chain. And congratulations to every fan that turned out and screamed their lungs out for the effect and impact they had on that game. Because you know, Kirby knows what he's talking about. When he's telling you you can impact the game, you can impact the game. What, they have 6 false starts? Woo!
Yeah, they found that out. They found that out that they can be an impact, have an impact on the game, and certainly Tennessee found that out too, and a lot of former players that didn't think there was going to happen.
Right.
And now they're having to eat their words a little bit. Also recognized today by the Southeastern Conference, as we said, freshman Malachi Starks, Georgia's very talented safety. He's a co-freshman player of the week. And Jalen Carter, who's working his way back into the lineup. And, wow, big splash as he returns full-time now against Tennessee on Saturday. He's the defensive lineman of the week, had a couple of forced fumbles. Darn near had a safety there. Probably should have been a safety maybe. That a lot of people believe that Georgia had that, but Jalen Carter making his presence felt in that game, so much so that he earns recognition by the Southeastern Conference Defensive Lineman of the Week. So some terrific football news to hang your hat on. And, of course, Georgia will be on the road for the next 2 games to close out the conference schedule at Mississippi State on Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time in Starkville. And our broadcast will start at 3 p.m. Eastern for our pregame coverage, and then the tailgate from Starkville, Mississippi at 4 o'clock, leading you right up to kickoff at Scott Stadium there in Starkville, Mississippi. And then Georgia with a road game at Kentucky before closing out the regular season with Georgia Tech, and that'll be the last home game.
Yeah, get ready for the cowbells.
Woo. Can you actually do that?
I don't think you
get ready? I mean, we've been in that atmosphere before. I don't know that you can actually get ready for it. You just kind of have to tolerate it.
Yeah, no way to replicate that.
We've got basketball for you tonight. We are in part of the doubleheader season opener for the Georgia women and the Georgia men. The Lady Dogs won their game with Coastal Carolina and went a little bit long, and so we are filling time until we get to our game here between Georgia and Western Carolina. We're still a little less than 12 minutes away from the opening tip. The starting lineups have not been announced yet. We can tell you that the officials for tonight's game, Todd Austin, Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, and Keith Patterson will be the 3 officials here as we open the 118th season of college basketball here at the University of Georgia. So the Bulldogs and the Catamounts getting ready to go at it. They just exited the court a few seconds ago to head back to the locker room. Then they'll come out again in a little less than 10 minutes for the starting lineups here inside the building. And then we'll get going here hopefully very soon for the Bulldogs opener. The Dogs will follow up tonight's game with a road game Friday at Wake Forest, and that will certainly be a challenge on Friday night when the Bulldogs go up to take on the Demon Deacons in Winston-Salem.
Well, I tell you what, that's a quick step up into big-time competition for Mike White and this newly assembled squad of Bulldogs to head over to Winston-Salem and take on the Demon Deacons out of the ACC. So, that'll be a test of big-time basketball and what you can expect when January rolls around and you get into conference play here.
The next home game after tonight will be a week from tonight, Monday, November 14th. Georgia will be hosting Miami of Ohio here in this building. And then they have a Friday game against Bucknell here at Stegman Coliseum. And then Georgia plays in one pre-holiday tournament this year, and that will be down in Daytona in the Sunshine Slam in Daytona Beach, Florida. And Georgia's first opponent in that will be on Monday, the 21st of November against St. Joe's. And then they'll follow up on Tuesday against either South Florida or UAB before breaking for the Thanksgiving holiday and coming back and finishing out November with home games against East Tennessee State and Hampton. So that's how the first month of the schedule looks as we get ready for Georgia basketball tonight. Georgia and Western Carolina are coming up, and we'll step aside for just a moment, take this final timeout before we tip it off. We'll give you our forward keys to the game and our starting lineups when we come back. It's Georgia and Western Carolina for you tonight here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Georgia is our home. That's why at Georgia Power, we're building the future of energy. Over the last decade, we've invested nearly $10 billion to strengthen the electric grid, installing new substations, upgrading transformers, moving power lines underground, and investing in cleaner energy. We're making the electric grid more resilient and reliable for you and for future generations. At Georgia Power, we know that making smart investments today prepares us to meet our customers' needs tomorrow.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings, look ahead to comeback seasons, and look up for hope and strength. Northside welcomes you into our community of care, guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. Led by our expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
This is Georgia Basketball, brought to you by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage, but with eBay Motors, you always have 122 million parts for your car right at your fingertips. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Georgia Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
College sports is full of great trash talkers. But what speaks louder than a verbal smackdown are stats. So we'll let Ford F-Series speak for itself. Like advanced capabilities, intelligent towing, smart technology, and 45 years as America's best-selling truck. That's Ford F-Series. Custom order your 2023 F-150 at your local Ford dealer, a proud supporter of college athletics. Some models, trims, and features may not be available based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
Welcome back, Stegman Coliseum, as it's Georgia and Western Carolina coming up. And let's go ahead and give you our Ford keys to the game. Driven by Ford F-150. Check out Ford F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs, at your local Ford dealer. Here's Chuck with our Ford keys to the game. Chuck.
All right, let's do it here for the first time of this 2022-23 season. And the first key is we got to continue offensive growth And this is going to be a process here in the early going. It's not quite where Coach White wants yet. That's going to take a while. Offense takes chemistry. Chemistry you don't just build overnight. Defense, way ahead of the offense right now. So we want to continue to see offensive growth. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, we got to keep Braylon Bridges out of foul trouble. He's an ambidextrous weapon. And when he touches that basketball on the floor, Coach White wants him to get his hands on the ball, but he can't have his hands on the ball when he's sitting on the bench because he's in foul trouble. So we got to keep Braylon out of foul trouble, keep him on the floor, and that'll help. And then finally, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Let's make the most of it tonight and get this era of Mike White, Georgia Bulldog basketball off to a winning start.
Well, the Bulldogs run out of the tunnel. Western Carolina out of the tunnel as we speak. Less than 5 minutes from our opening tip. And let's give you the starting lineups for tonight, as they have been announced now. And Georgia will go with Terry Roberts at one of the guard positions. Roberts, a 6'3", 180-pound senior, a transfer from Bradley University, also from Florida Southwestern State Junior College, where he shared time with Cario Oquendo as a former teammate. He was a first-team All-Missouri Valley Conference player at Bradley last season. He's from North Amityville, New York, last year averaging 14.5 points. He had 128 assists on the season and 49 steals for the Bradley Braves, and he's in the starting lineup for Coach Mike White's Bulldogs tonight. Cario Oquendo is a starter as well. Earlier this week, named preseason second-team All-SEC. And Cario at 6'4" and 215. He is a junior college transfer from Titusville, Florida. And as we mentioned, played with Terry Roberts at Florida Southwestern State College in South Florida. Was the Dogs' leading scorer last year. He averaged 15 points and change over the course of the entire season. 4.3 rebounds. And better than that in SEC play, where he averaged a whopping 18.3 points per contest. Had 15 in the exhibition game against Georgia College last week. Also starting tonight, Mardrez McBride, one of the transfers on this team, a 6'2", fifth-year guard, 180 pounds. He is a transfer from North Texas. Also played at junior college prior to that. He is from Augusta, Georgia. He averaged 7 points, almost 3 rebounds a game last 2 years at North Texas, and shoots the three-pointer at a 40% clip. At least he did for the Mean Green. M.A. Moncrief is the fourth starter for the Dogs. Matthew Alexander Moncrief goes by M.A., 6'8", 215, a transfer from Oklahoma State. He is a forward, and he is from Toronto, Canada. Spent the last 2 years at Oklahoma State. Averaged about 18 minutes a game for the Cowboys there. 6.5 points, 4.6 rebounds. And in the exhibition game last week against Georgia College, had 15 points and 9 boards and went 7 of 10 from the foul line for the Bulldogs. The fifth and final starter for the Dogs, Frank Anselm, transfer from Syracuse, 6'10" and 215 are his numbers. He is from Lagos, Nigeria. Spent high school in Atlanta at Westlake High School, also at Lincoln Academy in Sewanee, Georgia, before finishing up at Prolific Prep in Napa, California. In 2 years at Syracuse, he had 6 starts and played in 36 games. His career numbers, 9 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. Those are his career highs, and we'll see Frank in the starting lineup tonight for the Bulldogs. Starting for Western Carolina, their head coach Justin Gray in his second season in Cullowhee, a record of 11-21 in his inaugural season last year. His starting five will be Russell Jones, a 5'8" guard, a transfer from Winthrop. He is from Blythewood, South Carolina. Vontarius Woolbright is a 6'5" redshirt junior college transfer from Albany, Georgia. He was their top returning scorer, rebounder, and assist man for this team. Last year averaging just under 10 points, 6 rebounds, and he had 104 assists over the course of the season for the Catamounts. Trey Jackson is a guard and a starter tonight, 6'1", a transfer from Iowa State, 181 pounds. He's from Columbia, South Carolina. Tyler Harris, also in the starting five, a 6'7", 200-pound swing player, a senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Tyjon Claude is the final starter for Coach Justin Gray's Western Carolina Catamounts. 6'8", 235, a little size in the middle there. Redshirt junior. He is a transfer from Morehead State, and his hometown is Goldsboro, North Carolina. We're almost ready for the tip. It's brought to you by Northside Hospital tonight, guided by one clear direction: a mission to heal with expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more. You can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital. And I think we're almost ready. Well, they're going to announce the starting lineups here, so a couple of more minutes before we get to the opening tip. I jumped the gun a little bit there. Georgia's lineups and Western Carolina's lineups will be announced. And then, as we said, Georgia and the Catamounts go at it for the 9th time in school history. Georgia won this matchup last year between SEC and Southern Conference, 85-79. One of only 6 victories for Georgia last season, Chuck. It was a long season for this Bulldog group last year.
Well, after January 1st, it seemed like, that seems like years ago. It was
just the one win in conference play.
Yeah,
so only one win from November 20th to the end of the season.
And that made it rough, no doubt about it. But this is a brand new season. That's behind us. That's gone. I've forgotten about it. And what I'm looking forward to now is getting this season off to a good start tonight, getting these kids some more confidence. They got some in that exhibition game against Middle Georgia. They got to win. Winning, boy, that sure makes you feel a whole lot better. Makes practices go a lot peppier, and it makes everybody feel better. So we'll get a win to open it tonight and then move on to Winston-Salem on Friday.
Yeah, Georgia was a winner over Georgia College last week in their one and only public exhibition anyway. It was 66-52. And you heard Coach White with us here in the pregame talk about the offense is kind of work in progress right now, what they're looking for, getting guys on the same page. And right now, defensively, this group is probably a little bit ahead of that offense.
Yeah, well, and that's the easier part. I mean, it's easier to get your defense. It requires communication, but not as much as the offensive end does. And because that requires chemistry, and you've got to really know each other. You've got to think alike. It's got to be 5 guys functioning as one unit. And so defense, always will be a little bit. You know how in spring training in baseball, the hitters are always a little bit ahead of the pitchers. The pitchers are always a little bit ahead of the hitters because it takes them a while to get their timing down and everything. Well, the same is true in basketball. Your offense is always a little bit lagging behind the defense, but we're looking for progress tonight in that area.
Georgia will be wearing black tonight, black jerseys and black shorts. Catamounts, purple, the dominant color there. And I can't see what they're wearing. I think they're wearing white tonight, purple and white, mostly white, as I look down to their bench, and they're surrounded by most of their assistants and staff, so I can't see the uniforms.
Yeah, they're in all white.
Georgia will be on the bench to our right, and the Catamounts far down to the left. And their little guy, Russell Jones, just jumped up on the rim and did a couple of chin-ups down to the left. 5'8", 165. So he's loosening up, ready to go. Georgia's starting 5 again: Terry Roberts, Cario Oquindo, Mardrez McBride, a 3-guard set, M.A. Moncrief, and Frank Anselm. And we are almost good to go. Both teams out on the floor for the opening tip. It'll be Anselm in the center circle for the Bulldogs. Frank, 6'10" and 215, the transfer from Syracuse. And Tyjon Claude, 6'8", 235, transfer from Morehead State for Western Carolina. Here's the toss, and the tap goes to Georgia. Terry Roberts with the first touch of the season for the Bulldogs, and we are underway here in 2022-23 Georgia basketball. Dogs work to our left as Moncrief tries to back into the paint, kicks it out on the perimeter to Oquendo, drives along the baseline, bounce feed to Moncrief, is intercepted in the paint by Western Carolina. Dogs turn it over right off the bat. Quick three ball by Western Carolina. They took 48 threes last year in this game. They missed that one there, the first of the contest. Georgia with the rebound, and an offensive foul on Frank Edselum trying to post up inside is called against the Bulldogs.
Well, right away we can see the Dogs. They're working that inside-outside game, and then, we lose it driving the baseline and trying to pass back underneath. But if Western Carolina's going to be firing them up like that, it's going to be watch out, get back in a hurry.
Their official numbers last year, 12 of 46 on three-pointers. They hit 26% of them as Georgia won that ball game last season, 85-79. Western Carolina with the basketball. They sweep it down in the low post on the right side. Georgia doubles, jump pass cross court. Western Carolina moves it around, feed it inside with 7 on the clock. Claude trying to position on the low block, shoots over Anselm, misses it short off the side of the glass.
Defense.
Rebound down to the Dogs.
That's where you have that big guy as a rim protector, and that's exactly what he did.
Roberts with a crossover dribble, drives right elbow, pull-up jumper, won't go from 15. Fight for the rebound. Moncrief trying to tap it up off the bottom of the backboard, kicks out, and Georgia will retrieve it with Roberts. Beautiful. Feed it to Anselm inside. A short little jumper in front of the basket is good, and that's the first points of the ball game. Georgia with a 2-0 lead. Frank Anselm with a short jumper in the paint. Points in the paint going to be big for the Dogs this year. We'll see how Anselm does there as far as his contribution. They battle in the paint. Western Carolina goes right inside with Claude. He missed a short jump hook. Got the rebound, missed a lay-in. Gets the rebound again and loses it out of bounds under the basket. It's going to be Dogs ball. Moncrief a little bit slow to get up. Kind of hobbling with the, I'm not sure if he rolled the ankle.
Okay. Yeah, rub a little mud on it. He's fine.
He's gritting his teeth, going to walk it off and walk down to the other end of the floor as Georgia will inbound. Western Carolina missed a couple of close basket attempts there, Chuck.
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed the other night against Georgia College was, the Dogs weren't as competitive on the glass. Boy, they are tonight. They're contesting everything.
Cario misses a jumper. Ball saved over the inline by Anselm. He threw it behind his head. We missed another short jumper there. Rebound, Western Carolina. Running layup won't go for the Catamounts. We get the rebound, then a steal in the backcourt for the Catamounts. They've got it back. Western Carolina trying to get on the board with Vontarius Woolbright dribbling through traffic in the paint area, and a foul going to be whistled on the Dogs. And that's going to be 2 on Anselm as they call him for his second, a pushing foul.
Yeah, we'll get Braylon.
And unfortunate for the Syracuse transfer because we probably won't see him much more in this first half with 17:41 still remaining. And Kyron Lindsey checks into the ball game. Also Braylon Bridges for Georgia. Western Carolina with the ball. They inbound it. And a travel going to be called on Tyjon Claude, their big man on the left baseline. And they turn it over, so Georgia will gladly take it. Bridges bounces it into Roberts, the transfer from Bradley. And Terry Roberts, the guard, will take it into the front court. Picked up there in a man-to-man defense by Trey Jackson, transfer from Iowa State for Western Carolina. Dogs feed Bridges, right of the paint. Leans inside in the paint, sweeping jump hook with the left hand, left it short. Rebound on the left baseline, taken by the little guy, Russell Jones, the 5'8 guard. Here come the Catamounts. Woolbright with a fake on the 3, drives from the right corner into the paint, zigzags to the rim, and misses a lay-in. Rebound Dogs. We push it up quickly. Roberts through traffic. They fouled him, but no whistle. The ball is knocked loose. Western Carolina's got it going the other way. Cario with a great recovery. Blocked it off the backboard, and Georgia takes it from right to left.
Yeah, he never saw him coming from behind.
3 ball. Roberts misses it right side of the rim, and the rebound down to Western Carolina. And one of their guys, Woolbright, had to fix his shoe. He got a flat tire on his heel. He had to fix his shoe. And Jones was giving him a little extra time, Russell Jones, his teammate, before he brought it into the front court. Western Carolina feeds Claude underneath. Shot blocked by Lindsey right in front of the basket. Dogs with another rejection. Carrio's got the ball. Spins away from the defender, loses the handle, but saves it under the basket over the inline. He just pitched it behind his back high in the air like a tennis ball lob.
It was a beautiful play. I got to tell you, those Dogs playing great defense.
Dogs still have the possession. Roberts uses a screen from Bridges, drives to the elbow, passes down to Braylon. A whistle will stop play. Foul on Western Carolina is the call down on the left baseline. And that's where Georgia will have possession. Western Carolina with the first foul of the game. It's called on Jones, the guard, Russell Jones, with a push. Dogs get 20 on the shot clock. They throw it in. Lindsey chases it down top of the key. Dump it down to Bridges. High post left side. He spins. He lost the ball. He dives on it. Chest first. Now Western Carolina jumps on top. Woolbright jumps on top of Bridges for a tie-up. And what's the call? Did we call a time?
No, it's
alternating position.
Yeah. 16 minutes on the clock.
Timeout with 16 to go. We played 4 minutes, and Georgia has 2. Western Carolina yet to score. That's our progress so far here on opening night on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Core Power is the official protein drink of Georgia basketball. Fueled by 26 grams of high-quality protein to give your body what it needs when it needs it. Recover and build lean muscle with Core Power, the official protein drink of Georgia basketball.
Get ready for tip-off at the UGA Bookstore, featuring the best Bulldogs gifts and apparel. Shop all the great brands at the UGA Bookstore like Nike, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is the exclusive home of the UGA 10 collection by Peter Millar. The UGA Bookstore in the heart of campus next to the Tate Student Center. Shop online 24/7 at UGABookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
Want more exclusives and behind-the-scenes Bulldogs content, more game highlights, mic'd ups, and original programming? Search for the Georgia Bulldogs All Access channel on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Georgia Bulldogs All Access, your official inside connection to Georgia football and all Georgia Bulldogs sports.
New season, new coach. Sometimes it's best to change direction and get a fresh start. I'm Kenny Mullins for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. If you're in construction, maybe you need a new start too. Come join our team of over 5,000 electrical workers. Better pay and benefits, superior training, and safer working conditions with an army of people who have your back. Visit IBEW613.org and click Join Our Team. Go Dogs!
Hey, Georgia fans, StubHub is the easiest way to experience every Bulldogs game. You can use Virtual View to find your perfect spot, get your tickets delivered instantly, and you can use your phone to get into Sanford Stadium. How about Stegman Coliseum? StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Georgia Bulldogs. StubHub, be there. We've only got one more game at Sanford Stadium this year, so hopefully you can do that process to get into Stegman Coliseum as well.
No doubt about that.
But use StubHub. It's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace.
Scott, I think we got two teams out here. Both teams with little first game jitters. That's to be expected. Some they'll settle down and start to get more points on the board. Hopefully, a lot more for the guys in the black jerseys.
Georgia will get Justin Hill into the ball game along with Jackson Eder. Bridges and Roberts and Lindsey stay on the floor for the Dogs. Western Carolina with the basketball. They've gone better than 4 minutes without scoring here. The opening minutes of this contest. Woolbright throws it to the right wing. Harris through traffic throws it up with the left hand. Misses the runner. Scramble for the loose ball collected by the little guy. The little guard,
out of bounds.
Jones, as he stumbles and falls on his back. They're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on Georgia.
Oh, no.
As Roberts went sliding on his back. The foul on Terry Roberts, says Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, one of the three officials. So inbounds play coming for Western Carolina. They are 0 for 9 to start the ball game. Georgia 1 for 6 from the field. It's a 2-0 contest here with 15:34 to go first half. Feed it into Jackson in the right corner. Trey Jackson, a 6'1 transfer guard from Iowa State. Crossover, tries to get by Jackson Eder. Throws it up from the right side of the iron. Airmails one from 3 feet away.
And he threw it. That was exact right description. Threw it up.
Dogs with the rebound and the basketball. We've got the possession. We're all in black tonight, and Western Carolina mostly in white uniforms. Braylon Bridges draws a crowd in the paint, steps to his left on the block, hooks it up with the left hand. Good. Braylon Bridges with his first basket of the season.
We've seen that move a time or two.
4-0, Dogs lead. Less than 15 minutes to go here in half number 1. Dogs play a man. Hill picks up Jones, the guard. The little guy's fast. He zips right down the lane, distributes into the corner. They go up the wing, and a 3-ball from Trey Jackson is good to get them on the board quickly. And Jackson, I think, knew it as soon as he let it go because he was already backpedaling towards half court as soon as that ball left his hands. Georgia.
Beautiful give and go.
Dogs answer with a quick basket to make it 6-3. And that was Roberts doing the scoring there for Georgia.
Yeah, a little give and go with Braylon Bridges.
6-3. There's a takeaway by the Dogs. Hill running the floor right to left. Going to drive against 2 Catamounts and lay it up just ahead of their defense.
But let's give credit. Defensive steal by Roberts. That was got his hand in the passing lane, stole it, tipped it, got it ahead to Hill, who laid it up.
A couple of veteran guys, veteran transfers on the floor at guard for the Dogs, and Terry Roberts, transfer from Bradley, and Justin Hill, the transfer from Longwood University. 3 from the corner won't go, off the back of the rim, and a high rebound pulled down by the Dogs. Roberts has possession for Georgia. Crossover, he goes by Jackson, a little teardrop from the left side, won't go. Rebound picked up on the bounce by Russell Jones, their 5'8 guard. He curls around left and hands it off to Woolbright, who stands high on the left wing outside the three-point line. They screen to get Hill away. Screen and roll, and big Colin Granger drives in and draws a charge, and underneath that, Jackson
Who
Eder.
else? Yeah.
Eder got position, and Colin Granger on the pick-and-roll play called for the offensive foul.
Well, I got to tell you, Jackson was in great position to see what was coming. He saw them work that little screen and roll. He just stepped over, positioned himself beautifully to draw that charge.
Eder last season led the team, taking 30 offensive fouls last year, took 30 charges for the Dogs, and that's his first of the season tonight here in the opener. Dogs with an 8-3 lead, trying to add to it. Hill's one-hander from right of the lane goes over the rim and caught by Moncrief on the left side of the iron, and he's fouled. A push by Western Carolina is called. Not a shooting situation. Georgia will inbound the basketball. 20 on the shot clock, 13:08 on the game clock here in the half. 8-3 is our score. Hill fakes the pass into the corner to Jabri Abdur-Rahim, who's checked into the ball game. Throws it in under the basket. It's taken away by Western Carolina. They throw it up into the front court and chase it down. Save it from over the end line is Campbell. Now they open 3 is around the rim and out. No good. That was Tyler Harris missing the 3, and then the ball caroms out of bounds after swished around the rim. Wouldn't stay in, came out and went out of bounds. The Dogs will have the possession. Georgia's 5 on the floor right now are Justin Hill, M.A. Moncrief, Jackson Eder, Jabri Abdur-Rahim, and Kyron Lindsey, the freshman, in the corner. Hill with a basketball, left-hand dribble, pump fake, goes to Jabri, straightaway 3, little fadeaway, all net. Three-pointer, Jabri Abdur-Rahim. That's a 3-point basket brought to you by Scana Energy. First points of the game for Jabri, the transfer from Virginia a couple of years ago, 6'8 guard from South Orange, New Jersey. 11-3 Dogs, lead by 8. They zip it in, Western Carolina does. They're going to get a dunk from Tyjon Claude, their big guy. 11-5 is their score after that dunk. Dogs by 6 with the ball. Hill down the right edge of the lane. Finds an angle, puts it up off the glass, and caroms off the rim, no good.
You got a block.
And the foul is called on the Catamounts on Claude, the big guy. Tyjon Claude whistled for the foul for Western Carolina. And that is their 5th. And this time we will get free throws. It'll be Justin Hill going to the line, the 6-foot guard transfer from Longwood University, his hometown, Houston, Texas. Averaged just under 13 points in 2 years at Longwood, to go with 4.5 rebounds and almost 4 assists per game, and he hits the first free throw of his Georgia career. 12-5, Dogs lead. Hill with a second foul shot to come. Cario Oquindo back in the ball game as the free throw rolls in there. Good. Dogs lead at 13-5.
Makes me feel so good to see those free throws fall, you know?
You like that?
I love that.
Hopefully a lot more of that to come. Western throws it up with Jackson from the left side. He kind of reared back and slung it up sidearm with a right hand. It had no shot. Georgia with the rebound. Feed it up to Cario. And again, Western had no shot to stop that either. Oquendo just jets to the rim and lays it up and in.
They're still looking for him.
My goodness, what speed. Western going to take a 30-second timeout. That'll turn into the full under 12 timeout. We'll take it along with them. Georgia by 10, double-digit lead for the Dogs. It's 15-5. Georgia on top of the Catamounts with 11:43 remaining half number one. Timeout. Come back after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, Georgia, if you love playing Fantasy 5, you're going to love it even more because we're giving away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. Now through November 27th, 5 winners each week will win just by playing Fantasy 5. And the cash stack grows to $10,000. Play online or enter your non-winning Fantasy 5 ticket at fantasy5giveaway.com for your chance to be a weekly winner. It all ends November 27th, so play Fantasy 5 during the Stacks of Cash giveaway, only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
'Twas right before the holidays and down BMW Road, not a driver was stressed, only good vibes flowed. Could it be because one sat in his BMW's plush leather seats, or drove hundreds of miles without a slip in the sleet? Another drove far and yet was not stressed, since she was cruising with intelligent GPS.
I've started guidance.
This holiday season, take on the ultimate drive when you buy a BMW 5 Series X7 or X5.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com today. Go Dogs!
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his fourth. But you know what they say, fourth time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
(15-5), Georgia by 10. The Dogs on a 7-0 run here, leading Western Carolina on opening night. As we pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Dogs' leading scorer so far is Justin Hill. It was a slow first few minutes of the ball game. Georgia led at the first time out, 4 minutes into the game, 2-0. Hill with 4 points. The Dogs are spreading it around, and it's time to go in the huddle with Chuck Dowdle. It's brought to you by Georgia's own credit union, banking on purpose. Chuck, you were in the huddle there. What was happening?
Well, Coach White was letting them know about he wants them to take better care of the basketball. They'd had 5 turnovers in the last couple of minutes. He was not happy about that. He wants them to go harder to the glass. He is happy, though, with the score.
Dogs by 10. Western Carolina with another miss. Now 2 for 15, 2 for 16 shooting the basketball. Dogs rebound that miss. Carrio's got it on the other end. Just inside the foul line, he hits a 14.5-footer. In the paint, it's 17-5. Dogs on a 9-0 run.
You know, Carrio's going to have some games this year where he's going to go off. We're going to see some 30-plus point games out of him.
Well, he had 33 against A&M late last year. Claude takes it away from the post defender and able to lay it up uncontested for his second field goal of the ball game. Tyjon Claude at 6'8", 17-7 is the score. Dogs lead by 10 again. Georgia with the basketball. We're all in black tonight. Moncrief going to put it on the floor and drive. First attempt won't go. Gets his own miss. Puts it up from the right side. That time it's contested and left short. And then in the wrestle for the rebound, there's a foul call.
I think they fouled Jabri. Went over his back.
Foul is on Bernard Pellote, a 6'7 sophomore transfer from Catawba College in his hometown Savannah, Georgia. And that puts Jabri, as Chuck said, on the free throw line, shooting a pair for the Dogs. Abdur Rahim with 3 points thus far. And now he's got 4 as he connects all net on the foul shot. His first of the game. 18-7, Georgia leads. Hill comes out for the Bulldogs, and Terry Roberts back in at guard. Jabri last year averaged right at 7 points a game, a little over 3 rebounds per contest as he connects on both foul shots. 76% from the line last year, and off to a good start tonight, hitting his first 2. It's 19-7, Dogs lead. Catamounts with the ball. They try to cut the back door and go inside, and we intercept the pass intended for Jackson. Dogs take it away. Georgia with a steal and the possession on the left end of the floor. Roberts inside the arc, whips it to Moncrief. Crossover at the elbow, nothing there. Kicks it back out to Roberts, who'll curl down the lane. The C's parted, and he lays it up. A sweet little soft finger roll by Terry Roberts.
You know what? I can still play if they're not going to guard you. I mean, that was amazing. Nobody even bothered. It was like a layup in warm-ups.
Like, all right, just get out of the way. Let's see what Terry wants to do. 21-7, Dogs by 14. Catamounts with the ball. They bounce it into Claude in the post. We double him, and he's still able to turn and shoot and roll it in there. Claude now with 6. He's their only offense to speak of thus far. He's got 6 of their 9 points. It's 21-9, Dogs. Oquendo overhead soft toss to Moncrief. Head of the key. Stands above the three-point arc. Fakes the baseline pass. Kicks it out on the perimeter to Oquendo. Back to Moncrief on the give and go. And he hops to the basket and lays it up from the left side.
Well, we saw enough of that young man the other night against Georgia College to know he can play.
M.A. with his first 2 points and the assist from Cario. 23-9, Dogs. Somebody lost a shoe for Western Carolina. Look out. That's Woolbright again. Not sure he doesn't have it on very good. He's got the ball, too, and he's trying to put on a shoe, and he turns it over. We put 2 guys on him because he was more concerned about his shoe. Roberts has the ball. Finds Lindsey on the block. He goes high for the pass, comes down. There's contact. The ball is loose. No whistle down there. But a whistle against Georgia on the other end of the floor as Roberts, the little guy, was spinning into the front court and knocked to the floor, and they get the Dogs for a foul, and that's on Terry. Terry Roberts with his second foul. He'll probably have to come out of the game, I would imagine. Braylon Bridge is going to check in, too, for the freshman Kyron Lindsey. Yep, here comes Justin Hill after a brief breather. Roberts picks up his second and comes out, and we'll go to the bench here with 8:47 to go first half. Also coming into the game for the first time, Jusan Holt, Juice, the transfer from Alabama, 6'7" guard from Tacoma, Washington. Played his high school ball at St. Francis High School in Alpharetta, Georgia.
We are just wearing them out on the glass. 16-6, Dogs.
8:43 to go, first half. Roberts to Granger. Foul line extended right. Back out front now to Tyler Harris. Over to Jackson on the wing. He sidesteps the defender, fires a 3, airballs it. Caught outside the paint, left side by Moncrief. The crowd lets him hear about the airball. Georgia with a possession. Braylon Bridges guarded by Granger. One-on-one down on the right baseline. Zips it back out front to Hill with 17 on the shot clock. Hill puts it on the floor, drives, leans into the run, and misses the runner all the way at the rim. Left it short. Rebound, Western Carolina. Catamounts attack with Vontarius Woolbright. He goes against the double team from the left side of the rim, and a foul is called on the Dogs. They got Moncrief for that one. 5th team foul on the Dogs. 8:05 to go. Half number 1. And that'll put Western Carolina on the free throw line for the first time tonight. Vontarius Woolbright, 6'5", junior college transfer, left-handed shooter from Albany, Georgia. Misses it off the front of the rim, no good. 61% from the line last season for his team. He's one of their 3 returning players. Actually, they have 4 returning players. And the rest of it, a brand new roster. Woolbright hits 1 out of 2 for the visiting team. His first point of the evening. 23-10. Dogs by 13. We've got the ball. Hill spins on the right side against Roberts. Roberts defends him well. Now he's picked up his dribble. And Holt goes over to help him. Juice to Hill. Feed it down low on the paint, on the block rather, to Braylon Bridges. He has a reverse pivot and a jump hook towards the baseline that rattles out, no good, and then the rebound goes over the end line. And there may have been a foul called. There was. Foul called on Jusan Holt for Georgia. And we've got a timeout with 7:42 to go in the half. Georgia leads Western Carolina by 13. It's the Dogs 23, the Catamounts 10. Back after this, Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
It's time to cheer on the Bulldogs with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth, and at 5% alcohol, it's got the perfect kick to turn things up on game day. It's time to stock up for the season. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted. Please drink responsibly. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hey there, UGA fans. This fall, Dunkin' is ready for you to fall hard. So when you hear those leaves rustling and see those pumpkins getting ripe and ready, it's time to eat, sleep, and drink pumpkin at Dunkin'. Take your pick of pumpkin with delicious muffins, munchkins, and donuts, and pair them with a classic pumpkin spice signature latte or the ultra-smooth pumpkin cream cold brew, topped with silky pumpkin cream cold foam, all so you can fall harder. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
Along with Chuck Dowdle, Scott Howard back courtside here at Stegman Coliseum. Opening night for Georgia basketball. Our producer-engineer is the Road Dog, Adam Gillespie. Luke Ned Carney's in our Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. We'll be checking in with Luke at the half. Coming up, we're 7:42 away from that. Georgia leads Western Carolina 23-10, and it's time for a Regions recap where you can get your Georgia Bulldogs Visa debit card from Regions. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. Slow start for both teams offensively, and then Georgia got going with a 7-0 run to go up 10, their first double-digit lead of the game around the 11:53 mark. And since it was 8-5 early on in the ballgame, the Dogs have outscored Western Carolina 15-5 and led by 14. That was their largest of the game a few moments ago. Now it's Holt at the foul line. He was fouled by Western Carolina prior to the timeout by their four. I thought they called the foul on Holt, our four, but it was on Tyler Harris for Western Carolina, and that puts Holt at the line where he contributes with a free throw for the first time.
Yeah, the Dogs, at 4 minutes into the game, they were shooting 16%. Now they're shooting 47%. And the Catamounts still struggling, 21% from the floor.
Yeah, they're just 4 of 19 from the field as Juice connects on a pair of free throws for the Bulldogs. And there now is the largest lead of the game at 15, 25-10. Dogs up with 7.5 minutes to play. Catamounts almost turn it over. Ball knocked around. Campbell saved the turnover, but he's almost the one that turned it over, but he saved his own mess up. Woolbright spins on the block. Nice move by the veteran, Vontarius Woolbright, scores on a lay-in after a spin move on the right block. His first field goal of the ball game. He's got 3 points now. It's 25-12 Georgia. Dogs find
beautiful
feed.
feed.
No, that's Moncrief down low, and he scores from the left side on the lob toss.
But it was Braylon Bridges that got that feed to him. Nice high feed, saw him cutting, fed him beautiful.
Moncrief now with 4, give the assist to Bridges. Western takes it in. Woolbright tries to attack Juice and Braylon in the post, and he probably shouldn't have done that. Missed the shot, and the Dogs take the ball away.
Holt came out of there with it.
Oquindo's got him the offensive end for the Dogs. Deep, long three. Bagged it, knocked it down. Carrio with his first 3 of the game. That's a Scana Energy 3. And that jacks the score up to 30-12 Georgia. Dogs by 18 now. Largest lead of the game. Carrio's second basket of the contest. And Georgia's second 3 of the game. Dogs now plays some defense. Woolbright beyond the arc in the right corner. Crossover down to the edge of the paint. Left wing it goes. 3-ball launched by Harris off the rim. No good. Rebound Georgia. Mike White wants that team to sprint up the floor. Now Braylon's got it, top of the key. Georgia basketball. Moncrief trying to post up. Pass into the post rejected. And taken away by Western Carolina. They'll get a soft dunk by Harris on the other end of the floor.
Well, first off, we give them the ball, and then nobody really hustled back on defense, and Coach White was not happy about it.
Dogs get another crack at it now. 30-14 the score, 16-point Georgia lead. Hill with a left-hand dribble drive. Left of the lane, picks up the dribble. Carrio, that side of the floor, that's the near side. He's got the pass up on the left wing. Splits the defense through a low pass. It went off the foot of one of the Western players. They scramble for the loose ball. Carrio gets it back and scores a garbage bucket underneath on a lay-in.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did some work for it down there scrapping for the basketball. Came away with it, then he just went straight up because he was under the bucket.
Almost turned it over with a low pass. The ball went in their favor direction-wise, and he was able to win the scramble and get the points on the other end. Woolbright. One-man show for Western Carolina trying to score against Georgia's entire defense there. And it's going to fall off the right side of the rim, and then the ball knocked out of bounds on the right baseline. Georgia will substitute now. Get Kyron Lindsey back in the ball game. And we're going to get Mardrez McBride in as well. That's who's going to come out. Holt's going to get a breather. We keep Oquendo and Juice and M.A. on the floor. Catamounts basketball. DJ Campbell, a 6'2 freshman, to throw it in against Lindsey. Throws it under the basket. They cut through the basket, and the little guy caught the bounce pass on the interior. Russell Jones, and lays it up from the left side. A nice out-of-bounds play by Western Carolina that time. 32-16, Georgia leads. They'll study that one in the film room because the coaches won't like that one. Dogs with the ball on the offensive end, and Mardrez McBride gives it up with a foul as Russell Jones, who's playing with a lot of fervor right now. The 5'8 junior transfer from Winthrop forced the turnover there and got Mardrez to commit a foul as he scrambled for the loose ball.
That was one of those frustration fouls.
Sixth foul on Georgia. Jackson Eder comes back into the game, and Jusan Holt, the Alabama transfer, heads to the bench. Dogs with 6 fouls. Western Carolina already has 7. We're less than 4.5 minutes to play here in the half. 32-16, Georgia leads. Catamounts with the ball, guard with the crossover. That's Little Jones. Missed the jumper from 18 feet left of the basket. Off the rim, the rebound to the Dogs. McBride shoves it into the paint to Lindsey. Can't do anything with it. Kicks it back out on the perimeter to Oquendo. Back over to Kyron Lindsey. And he misses the left-handed elbow jumper. Rattles out. Rebound to Western Carolina. Catamounts basketball. They trail by a bunch. 16 down. Big Claude. Double team. High post left side. Goes to Campbell on the right wing. He drives and kicks into the corner. Western moving it around. Catamounts launch a 3 with Trey Jackson. Hits the back of the rim and dies there. Rolls down to Georgia. McBride's got the basketball. Front court left for the Dogs. Feeds Moncrief. Broke away from Claude, the defender, and laid it up uncontested. Moncrief now with 6. 34-16, Dogs lead. Georgia in a man-to-man defense. Jones, the guard, bounce pass at the elbow to Claude. He mishandled it, has to chase it out above the three-point line. They keep the possession with less than 10 on the clock. Actually, exactly 10 on the clock. And the Dogs are going to be whistled for a foul. Moncrief with a hold, says the official.
And he did. He just put his hands right on his chest, held him up as he was trying to cut through the lane.
That's his second and the team's 7th. So there's a 1-and-1 coming after the timeout. 3:05 to go in the half. Georgia 34, Western Carolina 16 on opening night in Athens. Back after this, Bulldogs Sports Network.
Now more than ever, it's important to support our local businesses, whether it's your favorite pizza place or your neighborhood barber. That's why I'm a proud member of Georgia's Own Credit Union. Georgia's Own has been serving our local community for more than 85 years. Whether they're saving you money on a checking account or credit card, or supporting the people, places, and teams that we've grown to love, Georgia's Own can't be beat. To learn more, visit their website at georgiasown.org. I'm Chuck Dowdle, and I'm one of Georgia's Own.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Get ready for tip-off at the UGA Bookstore, featuring the best Bulldogs gifts and apparel. Shop all the great brands at the UGA Bookstore like Nike, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is the exclusive home of the UGA 10 collection by Peter Millar. The UGA Bookstore in the heart of campus next to the Tate Student Center. Shop online 24/7 at UGABookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
Georgia is our home. That's why at Georgia Power, we're building the future of energy. Over the last decade, we've invested nearly $10 billion to strengthen the electric grid, installing new substations, upgrading transformers, moving power lines underground, and investing in cleaner energy. We're making the electric grid more resilient and reliable for you and for future generations. At Georgia Power, we know that making smart investments today prepares us to meet our customers' needs tomorrow.
Georgia leads Western Carolina 34-16. It's time to spotlight the first half's best in the game stats. Brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. And the best in game stats so far got to be Georgia's shooting percentage at 54%, 13 of 24, and their rebounding, Chuck, 21-10, out rebounding the competition Western Carolina did.
I got to tell you, one thing that Coach White was not happy about after the win over Georgia College was that he thought that we were a better rebounding team than we showed. And clearly that message was sent and received over the last week, because these dogs have been getting after it on the glass tonight. I mean, hard.
And the results are there, plus 11 on the boards. Campbell's at the free throw line for Western Carolina. DJ Campbell from Hampton, Virginia. 6'2 freshman guard, right-handed shooter. Free throw is all net for his first point of the game. Free throw number 2 coming. 34-17 now. Second free throw is in the air, and the same result. It's good. 34-18, Dogs lead. Campbell hits a pair for the visiting Catamounts from Cullowhee, North Carolina in the Southern Conference.
Dogs keep upping their percentage from the floor. They're up to 54% now.
Kyron Lindsay with the ball, the offensive end for the Dogs. Hill's back in. Justin Hill going to drive. He pushed off. Yep. And then there's an offensive foul call. He got that left forearm in there on that drive, slashed through the lane, and just shoved the defender, and that was an easy call for this officiating group. Two of them called it.
And the play-by-play guy.
Yeah. I'm just following the whistle.
No, I think you had it before the whistle did.
You got to disguise it a little bit better than that. 2:45 on the clock, first half, until intermission. 34-18, Georgia in front. Catamounts with a basketball. Campbell dribbles, guarded by Abdur-Rahim. Comes right with the ball to Jackson. He shoves it inside the big Claude.
Oh, wow.
He bumps Braylon a couple of times and missed a little jumper off the rim. Rebound to the Dogs. Abdur-Rahim to Hill.
Now that's one I'm stunned the officials let that go. He just slammed his shoulder into Braylon.
It was pretty hard into the chest there. Bridges has the ball on the block. Nice spin move into the paint. Left it short, though. Couldn't finish. Did everything right except the finish off the front of the rim with a one-handed jump hook. Western Carolina with a rebound. Catamounts ball. They work on the offensive end. Jackson drives to the left block on a diagonal cut, spins, and puts it up and in from 2 feet away. Nice move by Trey Jackson, the 6'1 transfer from Iowa State, hometown Columbia, South Carolina. 34-20 now as Western Carolina cuts the deficit by 4. Georgia's large lead tonight has been 18. Braylon's got it, spins down the right edge of the lane. Again, can't finish. Rolls off the back of the rim, around to the front, and falls down into the hands of Western Carolina.
Well, he's having some bad luck at the rim.
You're not kidding. He's right on top of it, just can't get that thing to drop. Catamounts basketball. Jackson trying to get by Jabri, won't give any ground. Gives it up to Campbell, right of the lane. Crossover, trying to work by Jackson Eder, going to shoot over Jackson and draw contact and a foul as the 4-foot jumper rolls off the rim, and the whistle is blown against Jackson. Eder with his first foul. That's the team's 9th, and it's going to be 2 shots coming for Western Carolina. Again, it's DJ Campbell back at the line. Pair of free throws coming. Down by 14, Campbell. Free throw number 1. Rattles home good. He is 3 for 3 from the line tonight. That's all of his points this evening as Cario will check in for Eder. Jackson, graduate guard from Woodstock, Georgia, checks out of the game momentarily. 13-point lead now, down from 18 for the Dogs. Campbell will try to make it a 12-point game. Free throw number 2 in the air and rattles and rolls in there good. Back and forth, front of the rim, back of the rim, and stayed in there. 34-22. Dogs lead is a dozen.
Yeah, there were 3 different times there I thought the ball wasn't going in.
Long pass from backcourt to front in the left corner by Hill all the way up to Jabri. Hill has it back temporarily. One hands it to the right wing to Oquindo. He feeds Jabri for a 3 left corner. Off the far side of the basket rim. No good. Rebound down to Western Carolina. Jackson has the ball in front court quickly. Pulls up for a 23-footer. That rattles out. No good. Rebound to the Dogs. We attack the other way. Braylon Bridges. Jump stop to the block. He loses a shoe. What's going on with that? Our guy lost a shoe. Their guy lost a shoe. Braylon's going to play without it. Now Georgia will call a timeout while Braylon, you don't want him playing in his sock feet. One shoe on, one shoe off. He's not Wee Willie Winky.
Plus, you don't want a shoe laying out there in the middle of the floor.
The Dogs stopped the clock with a timeout with 32.8 seconds to go in the half and leading it 34-22. That's kind of odd that we've seen 2 shoes leave the feet of the players in the game tonight.
Don't see that very often, that's for sure.
Actually, Woolbright's lost his a couple of times for Western Carolina. He's had it come off twice. One time it was left laying in the floor. The other time he caught it before it left his foot. So the Dogs use the opportunity to use it or lose it timeout. 16 seconds on the possession clock, 32.8 to go on the game clock here in the half, and Georgia up by a dozen. And again, leading by as much as 18 in the game. It was 34-16. And right now, Catamounts on a 6-0 run.
Well, you got 32.8. Let's see if we can finish it out strong here. It's been a good half for the Dogs. I mean, you know, look, we still got work to do, and this team will, I think you can see what they can be.
Dogs will inbound the basketball right of the basket with Justin Hill. Hopefully he inbounds it. There he goes. Using a good portion of the 5 count. He found Jabri opposite diagonal on the near side. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Carrio's got it all the way out at half court. Steps closer to the 3-point line and drills a 24-footer.
That's what I mean by finish it strong. Now get back on defense. Get a stop.
37-22. Oquindo's in double figures. Now he just blocks one off the glass after a windmill move by Western Carolina. Dogs run the floor with Hill, and his running layup attempt as the Catamounts defense scrambled back is blocked away with 2.5 seconds to go in the half. Georgia will have one final crack at it here as Western Carolina touched it out of bounds. So Hill will inbound, 2.5 to go. Georgia by 15. Get it into Oquindo. Contested 3, hits the top of the backboard from the left corner. He caught it with his back to the basket, and then he had to turn around, adjust, and try to find it, get his range.
He did a great job just to get the shot off.
He almost hit the shot clock, but you're right. He did do a good job just to get the shot.
But still, Dogs finish it off strong in those final 32 seconds. So now you go in the locker room, you draw up what went wrong, what you liked, and then come back out here and finish this off in the second half. As we've talked so many times about how you start that second half is important. And for the Dogs, that'll be important. They'll start with the basketball, so you want to get off to a good start here in the second half.
Cario Oquindo's second three, Chuck, really helped it. It slowed the 6-0 run that Western Carolina had and put Georgia back up by a comfortable 15 points here at the half, and Oquindo goes into the locker room with 10.
And Cario was showing, what we know he can do. And I think that as we get through, get more into this season, you're going to start to see one of the most exciting players in this conference in Cario Oquindo.
10 points for Oquindo, Georgia's leading returning scorer from last season, and he leads the Bulldogs at halftime tonight. Our intermission score, Georgia 37, Western Carolina 22. Luke Ned-Carney standing by in our Piedmont Healthcare Network studios with the Georgia Power halftime report. That's coming up next here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Game day is full of ifs. Like if Georgia can take home another national championship title. Who knows? But if you want the most convenient way to pay in Athens, get the Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Tap to pay contactless card technology and Lock-It card controls give you what you need on game day or any day. To order your card, visit regions.com/GoDogs. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
College sports is full of great trash talkers. But what speaks louder than a verbal smackdown are stats. So we'll let Ford F-Series speak for itself. Like advanced capabilities, intelligent towing, smart technology, and 45 years as America's best-selling truck. That's Ford F-Series. Custom order your 2023 F-150 at your local Ford dealer, a proud supporter of college athletics. Some models, trims, and features may not be available based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
This is Georgia Basketball, sponsored by Progressive. Life is full of challengeable moments. One thing no one would challenge, protecting your home and car by switching to Progressive. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family-made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
Hey Georgia, if you love playing Fantasy 5, you're gonna love it even more because we're giving away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. Now through November 27th, 5 winners each week will win just by playing Fantasy 5. And the cash stack grows to $10,000. Play online or enter your non-winning Fantasy 5 ticket at fantasy5giveaway.com for your chance to be a weekly winner. It all ends November 27th, so play Fantasy 5 during the Stacks of Cash giveaway, only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
The Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome to the Georgia Power Halftime Report. The Georgia Power Halftime Report is brought to you by Georgia Power. Proud to power the Georgia Bucks live from the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. Here's your host, Luke Ned-Carney.
Georgia 37, Western Carolina 22. The halftime score from Stegman Coliseum in the opener of the Mike White era. Luke Ned-Carney here with you for a quick check of the SEC and top 25 scoreboards here at the half. And number 10, Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena, rolling in the season opener.
Kicks it out front to Black. 6 to shoot. Away to Council in the lane. Finger roll good. Ricky Council has 10 points. Hogs by 9, 40-31.
Chuck Barrett on the call from Learfield. That lead has ballooned to 56-38 with 11:15 to play in the second half in favor of Arkansas. Elsewhere down on the Plains, number 15 Auburn leads George Mason 46-36 with 11:44 to play in the second half. Memphis with a big lead on Vanderbilt, 51-35, 11:42 to play, second half from Memorial Gym. Elsewhere in the league, Texas A&M leads UL Monroe 55-31 in College Station, 14.5 to play in that ball game. And Missouri with a 56-41 lead over Southern Indiana. That game early in the second half. Alabama leads Longwood 34-26 at the break as the 20th ranked Crimson Tide opening the season there. And Florida with a 60-29 lead over Stony Brook. 9 minutes remain in the second half. A couple finals from the earlier games. Number 4 Kentucky knocks off Howard 95-63. And number 11 Tennessee tops Tennessee Tech 75-43. And just went final in Starkville 63-44. Mississippi State defeats Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Today's halftime report is brought to you by Georgia Power. At Georgia Power, we know making smart investments today prepares us to meet our customers' needs tomorrow. Georgia Power, building the future of energy today. Georgia up 37-22 on Western Carolina at the break. We'll take a timeout and come back with the top 25 scoreboard on the other side on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Georgia fans, college basketball is back, so grab your friends in a cold, refreshing Dos Equis lager and make the most of the big game. Whether you're at the bar with fellow dogs or watching with your friend who went to that other school, Dos Equis is there for it all. So buy a cold, crisp Dos Equis and go Dogs. Dos Equis, proud partner of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2022, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Piedmont is passionate about Georgia, about each and every person that make this state incredible. From farmers to creators, manufacturers to teachers, to the dedicated staff walking our hallways. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to empower you through tools that make it easy to book in minutes, check in before you walk in, and have your health information all in one place. Visit Piedmont.org. Piedmont, real change lives here.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
365 days a year. Just call us up. We'll be right there. Our service is guaranteed. As you make, we take great care. Our experts are always there for you and your family's needs. When your family just can't wait, you can always count on Sinead.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield and JMI Sports under the broadcast rights granted by the University of Georgia. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Georgia, Learfield, and JMI Sports. Announcers are provided by Learfield and JMI Sports and approved by the University of Georgia.
Georgia Power halftime report continues. 37-22, Georgia in front of Western Carolina at Stegman. Luke Nedcarney here with a couple of top 25 scores. Just went final at Cameron Indoor Stadium. 71-44, number 7 Duke knocks off Jacksonville across Tobacco Road. North Carolina, top-ranked team in the nation, is actually tied with UNC Wilmington. 8:18 to play in the first half, 15-15. Number 3 Houston leads Northern Colorado 59-27. And number 5 Kansas on top of Omaha 68-53. One other top 25 score to pass along from John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. 7:41 to play in the first half. Virginia at number 18, 26. And North Carolina Central 15 in the first half. Most important score as far as we're concerned, Georgia 37, Western Carolina, 22. We'll take a timeout and send it back out to Stegman, to Scott and Chuck. Second half action ahead. This is the Georgia Power halftime report on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings, look ahead to comeback seasons, and look up for hope and strength. Northside welcomes you into our community of care, guided by one clear direction: a mission to heal. Led by our expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
It's time to cheer on the Bulldogs with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth, and at 5% alcohol, it's got the perfect kick to turn things up on game day. It's time to stock up for the season. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted. Please drink responsibly. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
This is Georgia Basketball, brought to you by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage, but with eBay Motors, you always have 122 million parts for your car right at your fingertips. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
'Twas right before the holidays, and down BMW Road, not a driver was stressed, only good vibes flowed. Could it be because one sat in his BMW's plush leather seats, or drove hundreds of miles without a slip in the sleet? Another drove far and yet was not stressed, since she was cruising with intelligent GPS.
I've started guidance.
This holiday season, take on the ultimate drive when you buy a BMW 5 Series X7 or X5.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com today. Go Dogs!
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
Scott Howard back with you here courtside, Stegman Coliseum. Dogs enjoy a 15-point halftime lead, 37-22 over Western Carolina. Our first half stats are brought to you by Northside Hospital. Northside Hospital is guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. With expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital. First half numbers, Georgia shoots 48% from the floor, 14 of 29. Western Carolina 26%, 8 of 31. The Dogs hit 3 of 5 threes. Catamounts 1 for 7. Free throws, Georgia 6 for 6. Western Carolina 5 out of 6. The Dogs had 11 first half turnovers. That's a higher number than they would like. 6 for Western Carolina. The Dogs are plus 12 on the glass, out rebounding 25 to 13. Individually, for the Bulldogs, Georgia's leading scorer is Cario Oquindo. He's 5 out of 6 from the field, 2 threes, and he has a dozen points, the only player in double figures on the floor. Second half is coming up. Georgia by 15 over the Catamounts, 37-22 at the half on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
College sports is full of great trash talkers. But what speaks louder than a verbal smackdown are stats. So we'll let Ford F-Series speak for itself. Like advanced capabilities, intelligent towing, smart technology, and 45 years as America's best-selling truck. That's Ford F-Series. Custom order your 2023 F-150 at your local Ford dealer, a proud supporter of college athletics. Some models, trims, and features may not be available based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is committed to protecting the state of Georgia. No one knows Georgia like we do because no one covers the state like we do. Georgia families are our only focus, and we have offices in just about every county of the state. You can call it our home field advantage. No matter where you are in Georgia, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is always the home team.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Georgia Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Game day is full of ifs. Like if Georgia can take home another national championship title. Who knows? But if you want the most convenient way to pay in Athens, get the Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Tap to pay contactless card technology and Lock-It card controls give you what you need on game day or any day. To order your card, visit regions.com/GoDogs. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, Chuck Dowdle, Scott Howard by courtside, ready to start half number 2. Our producer-engineer tonight, the Road Dog, Adam Gillespie, and Luke Nadkarni, our studio host and producer, as you heard in the Georgia Power halftime. 37-22 is our score.
And, Scott, I got to tell you, the two things you love are their shooting and rebounding. They got 24 rebounds to their 13, and we're shooting 50% from the floor, and that was with Braylon missing 4 shots right at the rim that normally would go for him. I mean, we could have shot even higher than 50%.
Georgia with the ball to start the second half. And we'll see Roberts and Oquindo, Lindsey, Frank Anselm, who had 2 early fouls inside the first 3 minutes, back on the floor, well rested. And Mardrez McBride, 2 seconds to shoot. Georgia can't get a shot off. It comes after the buzzer, and Roberts forced up a late shot with one hand left of the lane. The Dogs were working that ball feverishly around the perimeter, trying to get a good look. Western Carolina with a good defensive series there to start the second half. Catamounts basketball now as Russell Jones works right to left for the visiting team. Working offensively in front of their bench down to our left. Roberts, low bounce feed to the big guy Claude down on the block, guarded by Oquindo for the moment. Gets it in the paint, pump fake by Tyler Harris, and then he shoots over the defender and knocks it down right in front of the basket.
Gave that little flex, and he was kind of fortunate to get it to fall, quite honestly. But
37-24 is our score. Dogs by 13. That's the second bucket of the game for him. Dogs with the possession. McBride, floater to the rim to Anselm, and an alley-oop slam dunk. Anselm just dropped it in right down through the net.
Well, he cut to the bat. That was a beautiful feed.
39-24, first points of the game. No, second basket of the game, for Anselm. He had 2 points and 2 fouls in the first half and then didn't come back. He only played a little less than 3 minutes. He had gives the first space there to the big guy Claude, Chuck, as he backs him down and scores in front of the bucket.
Anselm had the first 2 of the game, so it's been a while. It's been a minute since he'd scored, but that was beautiful.
He's given up about 30 pounds or so to their big guy. But Frank has him. There's another shoe. They've blown another shoe.
Gee whiz.
Another guy playing in his sock feet for Western Carolina. We missed the jump shot, and the Catamounts have possession. 3-ball right corner for them. Won't go. Rebound saved by Oquindo into their bench. Saves it into McBride, and now they call a charge on the other end as their guard, Russell Jones, got back and takes the charge in the paint. Falls straight on his back. McBride called for the offensive foul for Georgia. That's his second. Oquindo made a terrific save down on the left and cleared some space, too, because he went right into their bench. And bodies all over the place. 39-26. Dogs lead is 13. Catamounts with a basketball. Tyjon Claude works against Anselm. Pump fake. Anselm doesn't bite. Tries to lay it in anyway and misses. Rebound, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Cario speeds through the paint, slashing from the left side. They trip him up. He goes sliding, and that's a foul on Western Carolina. And the foul on Vontarius Woolbright. That's his first.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to get back and get set in front of Cario, you better be fast.
Yes, you better.
You can get in front of him, but it's tough to get there and get set.
He's a big dude, too. I don't know if you'd want to try to take a charge from him at full speed, 6'4", 215. Cario's got a thickness to him.
And if he's elevating, chances are you're going to get kicked in the teeth.
Or worse, he's going to the line here. Free throws, they have to mop up some moisture on the floor. The mop guy out gets a hand from the band behind the basket on this end. Oquendo, right-handed shooter, free throw out, then almost back in, then he kicks out at the last second, no good. His first attempt at the line tonight. Dogs haven't had an inordinate number of free throws. That's their first miss, 6 out of 7. Now Carrio cleans it up with a second one. He made 1 out of 2. He's got a Baker dozen tonight, 13 points, 40-26 Georgia. Long way to go, 17-16 still remaining. Catamounts with the basketball. Right on the perimeter is the big guy, Claude. He's got 1 foot on the three-point line, the other foot inside it. Well, they work it around. Jackson feeds Claude. He got open. Our defender left him, and he dunks it. Georgia wants a timeout.
Yeah,
Mike White calling for a time. Lindsey got lost on the defensive switch, I think.
Coach White not happy with the defense there, and it just a little slow getting back. And he didn't get any help.
Tyjon Claude now with 10 points, the first player for Western Carolina in double figures. Timeout with 16:57 on the clock here in half number 2. Georgia's lead at 12, 40-38. Back after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
College sports is full of great trash talkers. But what speaks louder than a verbal smackdown are stats. So we'll let Ford F-Series speak for itself. Like advanced capabilities, intelligent towing, smart technology, and 45 years as America's best-selling truck. That's Ford F-Series. Custom order your 2023 F-150 at your local Ford dealer, a proud supporter of college athletics. Some models, trims, and features may not be available based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
Georgia is our home. That's why at Georgia Power, we're building the future of energy. Over the last decade, we've invested nearly $10 billion to strengthen the electric grid, installing new substations, upgrading transformers, moving power lines underground, and investing in cleaner energy. We're making the electric grid more resilient and reliable for you and for future generations. At Georgia Power, we know that making smart investments today prepares us to meet our customers' needs tomorrow.
Piedmont is passionate about Georgia, about each and every person that make this state incredible. From farmers to creators, manufacturers to teachers, to the dedicated staff walking our hallways. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to empower you through tools that make it easy to book in minutes, check in before you walk in, and have your health information all in one place. Visit Piedmont.org. Piedmont, real change lives here.
Georgia basketball is brought to you by your Atlanta area BMW centers, providing legendary performance, exceptional offers, and a premium ownership experience. At BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Visit BMWATL.com today, proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Let me get my math straight. I said we lead by a dozen. Then I gave the wrong score going into the break. It's 40-28. Georgia does lead by 12.
So that is a dozen. So your math was right.
Yes, I just couldn't read the scoreboard. Jackson Edders checked back into the ballgame for the Dogs. And we've also got Kyron Lindsey on the floor, the freshman from Denton, Texas. Carrio Oquendo. Braylon Bridges is in along with Terry Roberts. That's their 5. We'll inbound, bring it up the length of the floor from left to right. The Dogs all in black tonight. Western Carolina in white with purple trim. Roberts with the ball, dribbles inside the arc on the right side of the floor to Lindsey. Bounce feed into the post to Bridges. Pass was a little wide. He throws it back way out front, almost went in backcourt. Carrio saved it. And then offensive foul called on the Dogs. Braylon with an illegal screen. And Bridges picks up the foul. That's his first of the game. Team's second of the half. And we turn it over. Our big lead has been 18. That came just under the 3.5-minute mark in the first half. Lead is at 12 right now. Western Carolina tries to tighten it up a little bit, and they do with a three-pointer from the left corner. Yeah. Trey Jackson gets it back into single digits. It's a 9-point lead.
And this is too much like what we've seen in the past where Georgia comes out in the second half and they get lackadaisical when they've got a lead. You can't do that. You've got to come out hard, and here's another foul on the Dogs.
Another offensive foul They call that one on Oquendo. That's his first. Western Carolina outscoring the Dogs here in the first almost full 4 minutes, 9-3 thus far, and cutting an 18-point first-half lead down to 9. They've got the ball back after another offensive foul on back-to-back possessions. Woolbright dribbles across the top of the key, tries to pass it down low on the post to Claude, but he was about 4 feet in the opposite direction. Threw it right out of bounds. Break for the Dogs. Georgia gets it on the turnover and will take full possession after the timeout. We're at the 16-minute mark here in the second half, with Georgia leading Western Carolina 40-31. Back after this, Bulldog Sports Network.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings, look ahead to comeback seasons, and look up for hope and strength. Northside welcomes you into our community of care, guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. Led by our expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey there, UGA fans. This fall, Dunkin' is ready for you to fall hard. So when you hear those leaves rustling and see those pumpkins getting ripe and ready, it's time to eat, sleep, and drink pumpkin at Dunkin'. Take your pick of pumpkin with delicious muffins, munchkins, and donuts, and pair them with a classic pumpkin spice signature latte or the ultra-smooth pumpkin cream cold brew, topped with silky pumpkin cream cold foam, all so you can fall harder. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Go Dogs, sick 'em! Whether they're on the road or the home court, my family and I get loud and proud whenever the Dogs are unleashed. In this basketball season, Scana Energy is part of all the action as a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. So join my family and Scana in cheering on the Dogs to glory this season. Sign up for Scana today and get up to $100. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/GoDogs for details. Limited time offer, terms and conditions apply.
Georgia's lead is down to 9 points, 40-31 here in the second half. 16 minutes remaining. No one gets you closer to SEC basketball than SiriusXM. You can download the SiriusXM app and tune into SiriusXM SEC Radio for news, talk, analysis throughout the season, throughout the entire college basketball season. In fact, try it out today and take your Georgia Bulldogs with you on your phone, online, and at home. No car required. In fact, you can go over to Adam Gillespie's house. Try the SiriusXM app. He welcomes all visitors. 40-31. The Dogs being very welcoming to the visitors right now as they've come from 18 back to make it a 9-point difference with 15:58 clock ticking now. As Georgia inbounds and brings it up length of the floor, left to right. Roberts with the basketball. Hard dribble drive with the right hand.
Oh, nice move.
Pivot.
Oh, it didn't finish.
No, he didn't finish. Put it up with the right hand. It kicks
Beautiful
off the backboard and off the rim.
Got himself wide open.
3 ball on the other end. Now it's a 6-point game. Jackson buries another 3. He's got 11 points now, his third 3 of the game, 40-34.
Well, look, we miss an easy 2 that he worked hard to get, and then, had the easy shot, but didn't get it to fall.
3 on the left side. No, he stepped out of bounds. Cario made the shot, but apparently stepped out of bounds on the far corner and turned it over after a made 3.
Court presence, you got to know where you are.
Western Carolina will take the ball. They've come from 18 down to cut it to 6. Georgia with just 3 points in the second half. 1 basket and a free throw. Brand new ball game now. We led 34-16 with 3:26 to go in the first half. It's not that way anymore. Catamounts with the basketball. Overhead bullet pass from the little guy Jones to Tyler Harris. He slashes through. They move it to the big man. He spins off the left baseline. Oh, nice play. Blocked by Lindsey. The freshman down to Anselm, and then on the outlet he threw it away, trying to go to Hill and get the break started. We threw it out of bounds right into their bench.
They get another 30.
Kyron Lindsey with a terrific block. It almost started the break for the Dogs, but instead a break for Western Carolina. They keep the ball. Down 6 now. They haven't led in this ball game. And we're buried in the first half, really, by 18 points. A drive by Woolbright is ineffective, right into the teeth of the defense, and the ball gets knocked around and taken away by Georgia. Lindsey on the left block on a nice high-low feed from Justin Hill gets fouled going to the basket. Lindsey missed the shot. He's got 2 free throws coming, however. Woolbright with the foul. Number 2 on the veteran. Woolbright, 6'5", junior college transfer from Albany, Georgia. He's their top returning scorer, rebounder, and assist maker. A little bit of everything. He averaged 10 points a game, almost 6 rebounds for them last year.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of returners.
They did not. Lindsey at the free throw line for Georgia. Left-handed shooter, misses his first attempt. Lindsey looking for his first points as a Bulldog as well. The freshman from Denton, Texas, 6'7" and 205. Averaged 23 points, 11.5 rebounds as a high school senior last year. Second foul shot, too deep, back of the rim. Rebound goes to Jabri for the Dogs. Abdul Rahim covers it up. They feed Anselm back to the basket. Spin move, he fell down a little bit. Granger was guarding. When he lost his balance, he also lost the ball. Western tries to run the floor. And they lose the ball on the other end, but it was knocked out of their hands by Georgia under the basket as they tried to run the break. So the Catamounts going to keep possession. 25 on the shot clock, 14:26 to go in the game. Georgia's lead trimmed down to 6. Woolbright bounces it into Granger, steps out of the paint, left side of the floor, collects a slow bouncing ball, feeds it up to Jones. Russell Jones, transfer from Winthrop, into the paint, over to Jackson. He's got the hot hand. Another 3 in the corner. Wow. And that makes it a 3-point game. That's his third 3 of the half. He's got 14 points, his 4th 3 of the game.
And we're sitting here now 6 minutes into the second half with 3 points.
40-37. It's an 11-0 run. Dogs desperately need some points here. Anselm with his back to the bucket on the right block. Spins to the baseline, throws it up. There, it finally falls in for Frank Anselm. He's got both field goals in the half. And that was a struggle to get that one to stay in. 42-37, Georgia.
Well, now that we got the roof off that basket there, maybe we can get that lid off of it. Maybe we get something to fall.
My goodness. Catamounts have outscored the Dogs by 10 here in the half, 15-5. And they turn it over.
I think they were out of bounds.
They were trying to tightrope it along the baseline there. And they turn the ball over. Does Russell Jones. Dogs will gladly take the turnover. Justin Gray almost all the way down to half court, encouraging his team, the head coach for Western Carolina. Former teammate of Chris Paul at Wake Forest. They had a pretty good backcourt back in the day, the Demon Deacons, with that guy and Chris Paul. Running alley-oop lob to Anselm. He couldn't catch it cleanly in the air. He tried to catch it and score at the same time. The ball rolls out of his hands and over the rim, no good. Rebound to the Catamounts. 3 ball in the right corner, all net good by Bernard Pellote. That's his first points of the game. Their 4th 3 of the half, and it's a 2-point Georgia lead, 42-40. Dogs with Anselm, left of the paint, one-on-one against Granger. Turns, steps into the paint, shoots with one hand. Got the basket and got the foul. Foul called on Colin Granger, the 6'9", 247-pound transfer from Ohio. And give Anselm the bucket. He's got 8 points and going to the line for a 3-point play. 44-40. Dogs just keeping their head above water here.
Yeah, Anselm's not a guy that we thought we'd be getting points out of, a lot of points, but so far so good tonight. 8 and going to the line here.
If Frank makes this, that'll give him 9 for the night. That ties his career high in his days at Syracuse. Free throw by the big right-hander, good. And he's got 9, and that does match his career best. 6'10", 215. Frank Anselm gives Georgia a 45-40 lead. Western Carolina with a basketball, left baseline, Big Claude. He drives against Anselm, falls and slides on the floor, keeps the dribble. Georgia goes to the floor and steals the basketball with Holt. Up ahead to Hill. Feeds behind him, Abdur-Rahim above the three-point line. Hill comes back to retrieve it and check a whistle. They called a foul on Pelot, a pushing foul. He was clapping for some reason, and they were calling a foul on him. And Georgia will inbound, 21 on the clock. That's 3 on Pelot. Fourth team foul on Western Carolina. Terry Roberts to inbound for Georgia. Throws it up towards the basket, threw it over Holt. Hill caught it behind him into the corner for Abdur-Rahim. He missed the 3. We get an offensive rebound. Goes to Hill for a 3 again. Missed that one on the right wing. Rebound in the corner is touched out by Georgia as Holt and Abdur-Rahim scrambled for it and couldn't control it before it went out of bounds in the far corner.
I'll tell you, rebounds that we don't get, we're contesting. That's a good sign. Right now, it's our shooting that's a bit of a concern.
Georgia still plus 14 on the glass, 32-18 out rebounding. But you're right, our shooting down to 45%. There's a steal in the paint. DJ Campbell stumbled with the basketball. The Dogs picked his pocket and drive with Abdur-Rahim. Running layup, good, and the foul.
That's a terrific move. Jabri just he elevated, got above the defender. The defender got him on the elbow, and he finished it.
That pushes the lead back up to 7. They got as close as 2, but Georgia with the last 5 and a little breathing room. 47-40. We've got a timeout. The Dogs going to the line when we come back. 11:43 remaining. Dogs lead Western Carolina by 7 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you with Inflation Buster. That's more road trips, more front row seats. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase, you'll get exclusive savings when you refinance with Rate Drop Advantage. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Call 833-7ROCKET today or visit inflationbuster.com to start saving.
For fees covered, rate like date requirements and other terms and conditions, visit inflationbuster.com or call 1-833-7ROCKET. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Georgia Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
The passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got your school covered. On SEC Radio, there's complete coverage of every school in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along online or on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now, as a college student, you can stream your first 3 months of SiriusXM for $1. Fees and taxes apply. See offer details and subscribe now at SiriusXM.com/SEC Sports.
Dogs lead Western Carolina by 7. Welcome back to Stegman Coliseum here on opening night. 11:43 remaining. 47-40 is our score. Scana Energy is a proud partner of Georgia Athletics. For every three-pointer scored by the Bulldogs this season, Scana Energy will make a $25 donation to the University of Georgia General Scholarship Fund. Tonight, the Dogs with 3 three-pointers, so $75 in the till. And Dogs with a 7-point lead can use a few more threes. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Along with Chuck Donald, Scott Howard back with you courtside here on opening night. Dogs going to the free throw line, an and one opportunity for Jabri Abdur-Rahim, 6'7", 210, a junior from South Orange, New Jersey, a transfer from Virginia a couple of years ago.
Sitting here, we've got 18 turnovers, Scott. That's not what we like to see by any stretch, and not what we expected of this team, really. Although it's still early in the season and guys are getting used to each other, and that number should start to come down. But 18 is a tough number to deal with when you still got almost 12 minutes to play.
Dogs will try to overcome that. Jabri converted on the three-point play with the free throw. Now on the other end of the floor, Woolbright slips and falls, tried to keep the dribble while he was sliding on the floor and lost it out of bounds. A turnover for them.
He's got a sneaker problem. A severe sneaker problem.
If it's not coming off his foot completely and laying on the floor by itself, he's not getting his grip. And Frank Anselm is pointing out a spot on the floor that he would like to have mopped up. Some moisture there as the mop guy's out there trying to take care of the job.
He may need some new tires, Woolbright. It's like he's worn the tread off.
8-point Georgia lead, 48-40. We never relinquished the lead. It was 18 in the first half. Western Carolina with a second half surge got as close as 2, but the Dogs lead by 8 right now, looking to jack it up a little bit more on the offensive end. Abdur Rahim won't happen right now. Offensive foul on the Dogs. Frank Anselm with an offensive foul trying to set a screen. He got the leg out, said Todd Austin, the referee. So we turn it over, give it back to the Catamounts. Dogs with Jusan Holt on the floor along with Justin Hill, Terry Roberts, Jabri Abdur-Rahim, and Frank Anselm. That's our 5. Western Carolina has the basketball. Tyler Harris, 6'7", the head of the key, controls for them. Now it's the big guy, Claude, down on the baseline, works against Anselm. Hooks around him, leans under the basket, scoops it up and in. He wanted to flex a little bit, and Dogs inbound the ball.
Well, I think he thought he was going to get a foul call.
I think you're right. He did score, however. He's got a dozen points. Dogs with the ball. The lead is 6. Another offensive foul on Georgia. Oh, my goodness. Anselm with another one. Right in front of our coach, who's getting an explanation from the official who called it.
How many? Is that 4? How many's on that on him?
That's 4 on Frank, yes.
Wow.
Back-to-back offensive fouls on back-to-back possessions. Braylon Bridges has an offensive foul tonight. We've had a lot of those in this game. 48-42 is our score. Nowhere near out of the woods here. 10:33 to go. Catamounts basketball. Woolbright doubled high left wing. Gives it to Jackson. Lost the dribble. Scramble for the loose ball. Bodies on the floor. Holt has it. They call a tie-up with Holt and Jackson. Yep, they have the arrow.
Well, boy, now we got 20 turnovers, though.
Jusan was trying to scream for a timeout. He had hands on the ball, but unfortunately Jackson did too. And Georgia, as Chuck points out, or Western Carolina with 15 on the possession clock, 10:24 remaining in the game. Jackson in his green shoes will inbound from the near baseline, or sideline, excuse me. Throw it into Jones. He walks between the circles, the 5'8", 170-pounder from Blythewood, South Carolina. Transfer from Winthrop. Shot clock's down to 2. He's going to shoot a 3 straight away as the horn sounds into the shot clock. That's no good off the back of the rim. Bridges the rebound for the Dogs, feeds Hill. He penetrates and kicks to Roberts, who reverses it to Hill in the corner. Western Carolina's defense has recovered by now. Hill going to drive against the big guy, pushes off, no call, shoots over him and scores.
All right, we'll take that. That's a break for us.
Yeah. He got a little elbow into the chest of Tyler Harris, and he stumbled back. The officials didn't call it.
That's like a receiver creating space with that defensive back.
8-point lead again for the Dogs, 50-42. 3 ball, Jackson. This time he missed. He's made 3. Oh, we had the rebound, and it rolled right out of our hands. They fall down on the floor. Claude, no traveling call, and play continues. We had the rebound out of our hands into theirs, and their guy fell down sliding on his back, and they didn't call traveling. Now the ball kicked out of bounds by Georgia on the far side, and Mike White trying to get an explanation.
Yeah. Well, and the official looked at Mike and said, look, I'm sorry.
Oh, you dinner? Is that what he said?
Yeah. I think Mike would rather have the call.
Yeah, I think you're right. Woolbright drives to the rack. Nasty block by Jabri Abdur-Rahim. A little bit of a late whistle, and they call a foul on Jabri, who's talking to the official about it. not necessarily agreeing with the call. That's Keith Patterson with the whistle. First foul of the game on Jabri, team 6th. And Woolbright going to get a pair of foul shots here. 8-point Georgia lead, 50-42 with 9:12 to go. Vontarius Woolbright on the line for the second time in the game. 1 for 2 tonight. Just 1 for 8 from the field. Left-handed shooter, free throw up and in. Good. (50-43). Georgia by 7 now. It's still better than 9 minutes to play here on opening night. Second free throw is good. Claude tried to break around our defender down on the left block, and just his feet just went sliding out from under. There's a slick spot on the floor down there apparently. And now a 30-second timeout is called by Western Carolina with 9:12 to go. After the second free throw was made, 50-44.
Quindo coming back in for Georgia.
Western Carolina with a couple of timeouts remaining, as does Georgia. 50-44. Dogs lead by 6. They haven't relinquished the lead and haven't trailed all night. Although Western Carolina had an 11-0 run here in this second half to close the gap. They got as close as 2. Hey, Georgia fans, StubHub is the easiest way to experience every Bulldogs game. Use Virtual View to find your perfect spot. Get your tickets delivered instantly and use your phone to get into the facility. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Georgia Bulldogs. StubHub, be there. Why do 30-second timeouts always take longer than 30 seconds?
They always do, don't they?
Georgia will have the ball. Braylon Bridges, Terry Roberts, Jabri Abdur-Rahim, Jusan Holt, and Cario Oquindo are 5 on the floor out of the timeout. Try to add to a 6-point lead. It's not comfortable anymore. It was comfortable in the first half.
Yeah, when you're up 18, I was very comfortable.
You and I were lounging. People were feeding us grapes, neck massages, everything. There's a turnover by
Braylon
Bridges.
dropped it.
Western Carolina with the ball. The little guy stole it from him. Now here's Jackson inside, drops it off. Oh, nice drive and dish to the big guy, Claude, who tomahawks the dunk home. He's got 14 points. And it's a 4-point game. 50-46. Now a whistle on the offensive end for Georgia. Going to be a foul on Western Carolina. They got a hold. They got Harris for a hold. Number 2 on him. They're 6th. Both teams with 6 fouls here in the half. Georgia's lead is a mere 4 points. Claude and Jackson, each with 14 to lead Western Carolina. The bulk of those coming in this half. We inbound it. Roberts to Braylon Bridges. Settles on the elbow. Now dribbles in the paint. Spin move. Jump hook. Won't go. Rebound ripped out of the hands by Holt. And then the ball out of bounds. Knocked out by Western Carolina. Great hustle by the Alabama transfer, Juice Holt. He ripped the rebound out of their hands. And then they knocked it out of his hands on the other end. It's going to be Georgia's ball as 2 officials discuss it. So, yeah, they will maintain possession. But Carrio's going to inbound from a difficult spot on the near sideline in the corner right in front of our bench. Roberts comes to his aid, comes to the ball, and takes the inbounds. And sticks his backside right in the little guy's chest. Trying to defend it. Here's Cario with a shot clock winding down.
Got it right on the rim. It just wouldn't fall
right under on a slash move from the right corner. Left it short. We've had a lot of those tonight. A block on the other end by Cario. He recovered as Western Carolina ran the floor. Almost scored the bucket. Here's Roberts with an awkward-looking drive. The ball knocked out of his hands. He catches it in the air and still scores on a running layup.
And you know what? Hey, that should have been goaltending anyway, because they slapped the backboard with the ball up there.
Well, a few whistles have been missed tonight, but it is first night of the season, so little misses here and there. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Western Carolina going to turn it over. They had No offensive set that time, and their pass was tipped and stolen by the Dogs. Here's Jabri for three. Oh, front of the rim, won't go. Rebound loose on the floor. Pile of bodies under the basket. They let them play, and they fight for it, and a tie-up. And this time Georgia has the arrow. 4 or 5 bodies went to the floor immediately to cover up that ball right under the basket down on the right end of the floor. And the Dogs will have the possession and a stop of the clock with 7:18 to play. Georgia 52, Western Carolina 46 is our score. We'll come back after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
'Twas right before the holidays and down BMW Road, not a driver was stressed, only good vibes flowed. Could it be because one sat in his BMW's plush leather seats or drove hundreds of miles without a slip in the sleet? Another drove far and yet was not stressed since she was cruising with intelligent GPS.
I've started guidance.
This holiday season, take on the ultimate drive when you buy a BMW 5 Series X7 or X5.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com today. Go Dogs!
No matter your favorite game day traditions, it all starts with a cup of coffee to get you ready to cheer on a Bulldogs win. Community Coffee is a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs, serving Bulldog Nation with rich and smooth blends crafted right here in the USA. We've supported and celebrated thriving communities like the UGA family for over 100 years, and we believe there's no better day than game day for bringing people together. Community Coffee, strong as our roots.
(52-46), Georgia leads by 6 over Western Carolina with 7 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Western Carolina +9 here in the second half after Georgia had a 15-point halftime lead. But the Catamounts, Chuck, using the 3 ball and by Trey Jackson. He's got 3 in the second half and 14 points, and a lot of play from early on in the half anyway by Tyjon Claude, their big man. He's got 14 points as well. And that put them right back in the ball game. Georgia's shot percentage was dropping. We were turning the ball over, and Western Carolina got back in this thing.
Scott, you don't like to see, a big lead, get whittled away like that. On the other hand, I do like the fact that when it got to a 2-point game, Georgia put a stop to it. And then they've got a little breathing room now. Now you've got to build on that, get back to where you were.
Dogs have not trailed in this game. They had an 18-point first-half lead, 15 at the intermission, but it's been single digits for a while now here in the second half. And we got a drive by Roberts down inside in the paint.
They fouled him.
And they foul him on his way to the rack.
We've got
fouls on Russell Jones.
One less dog voice in the arena. The officials had a fan removed.
Yeah, he was in one of the courtside seats. He was escorted out a few moments ago. Roberts at the free throw line. And that was going to rattle out, no good. Bridges almost got the rebound. He was able to tap it back out on the wing, and Roberts chases it down to keep it alive. Now back to Braylon, into the paint, one-on-one. Misses the jump hook from 4 feet. He just has not been able to finish around the rim tonight. Rebound goes to Western Carolina. Bridges has only 2 points, and he's 1 for 7. And a lot of those shots have been the same result. Jackson's 3 ball is nowhere near the rim. Air ball bounces out of bounds under the basket. Boy, that was dreadfully short.
That was way short.
6:44 remaining. Dogs by 6 with the ball.
Yeah, he had a 25-foot shot, and he shot it about 16 feet.
that doesn't work too often,
No,
does it? Oquendo speeds to the rack right by his defender. He looked like a running back running in there low, like Dejon Edwards, and he scored off the run.
And he did look like a running back. And by that, I mean he wasn't dribbling the ball. But he got away with it.
Ball protection, that's right. He didn't fumble it, and he scored on the run off the glass. 54-46, Georgia with an 8-point lead now.
Oh, good steal.
And a steal by Georgia as, look, Terry Roberts has lost a shoe. He's got one shoe on, one shoe off. As he ended up in the front court after that steal, sprints into the front side. I've never seen so many shoes come off the feet of these guys in one game than they have tonight.
Yes.
Oquendo with a basketball, attacks from the right angle, drives against the double team all the way to the rack and scores off the lay-in.
Boy, Cario is having a night.
17 for Oquendo. Running layup.
Good aggressive
right off the
play.
Square. Yep,
Very aggressive
40.
play.
Look at that score now, Chuck. It's back up to double digits. Oquendo to the line for what hopefully will be a Scana Energy three-point play. The basket is good. He's got an and one opportunity. Oquendo, as we said, with 17, looking for number 18 here. Free throw in the air and good. Scana Energy 3, the old-fashioned way. We like those just as much. 57-46, lead back up to 11. Now let's see if the Dogs can keep these guys at bay. They made quite a charge. Jones across the top of the key, feeds into the corner. They missed the three from that spot. Pellote, excuse me, missed it from the left corner, and a foul on the rebound on Georgia. They got Bridges, number 2 on the 6'11", fifth-year player from Atlanta. And it's going to be free throws for Tyjon Claude. One of their scoring leaders tonight for the Catamounts with 14 points. 6'8", 235 goes to the line for the first time tonight. Free throw, up and in, good. 15 points now for him.
You know, you mentioned earlier Braylon being 1 for 7. But, you know, we've seen enough of him to know that, you know, we know how he can play and what he can contribute. And tonight he's just had some bad luck getting balls to drop. I mean, he's worked and gotten the shots, gotten the open shots. He just couldn't finish them tonight. You know, that happens.
It does. Western Carolina makes a pair of foul shots. The lead is back to 9 now for the Dogs. Here's a give and go from Bridges to Roberts. Roberts drives down on the block with a shot fake. Gets a man in the air and scores down low underneath. And the lead is 59-48. Roberts with his first points of the half. He's got 6 in the game now. Nice little high-low game that time by Braylon Bridges and Terry Roberts, a couple of veterans. Georgia's up 11 with 5:05 to play in the game. Jones drives, dishes inside. Claude shot is blocked. We had 4 defenders around the basket that time. Ball rolls out of bounds. Touched out by the guys in white. Georgia's going to have it. I think Western Carolina's surge might be retreating. They got to within 2 after being down 18 in the first half. It was 42-40, but Georgia never gave up the lead. And now it's an 11-point lead. Bridges with a screen at half court for Roberts. Feeds it back to Bridges, off his hands, and we turn it over.
Well, that's chemistry, and that'll come.
Claude with a spin move. We tried to draw a charge inside with Oquendo. He fell down, no whistle, and it's an open basket for Tyjon Claude, who now has 17 points in the game. 59-50 is our score. Justin Gray, their head coach, urging them on back on the left end of the floor, although he's almost at half court. Georgia's jumper from the foul line off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound taken by Western Carolina, and then Roberts called for a foul in the backcourt against Russell Jones. And that's going to be a 1-and-1 on the other end of the floor. Stops the clock with 4:20 to go. Roberts with his third. 59-50. Georgia plus 9. And it will be the 5'8", 167-pound officially. Russell Jones going to the foul line, the transfer from Winthrop. Will shoot his first free throws of the night. 1 for 6 from the field. He misses the foul shot. Front end of the 1-and-1, no good. Rebound, Braylon Bridges for the Dogs. So Quindo's got it quickly in front court. Went to Holt in the corner for a brief second, and then back up the wing. Braylon's got the ball, holds it high, top of the key. Comes to the right to Terry Roberts. Hooks it back to Bridges, spin down the lane. Lay it good. He finished that time right off the square. Bridges and Roberts hooking up for 2 points, 61-50 Dogs.
Would you call them the two veterans? That's exactly what that was, a veteran play.
Dogs by 11. Catamounts with a basketball. Jackson drops it off. Slow dribble bounce down into the paint. Goes Claude, and he awkwardly steps under the basket. Did he lose the basketball out of bounds?
I think he did. He lost it out of bounds.
Like I said, he had an awkward step.
It was knocked out by Georgia, but
okay.
He lost it. It's their ball.
I thought he lost it on his own. Yeah, they've got 12 on the clock. We've got a timeout with 3:38 to go. So Georgia knocked it out of his hands, out of bounds, as Chuck said. We've got a timeout with Georgia up 11, 61-50. The Dogs lead the Catamounts. We'll come back for the finish after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Core Power is the official protein drink of Georgia basketball. Fueled by 26 grams of high-quality protein to give your body what it needs when it needs it. Recover and build lean muscle with Core Power, the official protein drink of Georgia basketball.
Go Dogs, sick 'em! Whether they're on the road or the home court, my family and I get loud and proud whenever the Dogs are unleashed. In this basketball season, Scana Energy is part of all the action as a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. So join my family and Scana in cheering on the Dogs to glory this season. Sign up for Scana today and get up to $100. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/GoDogs for details. Limited time offer, terms and conditions apply.
Want more exclusives and behind-the-scenes Bulldogs content, more game highlights, mic'd ups, and original programming? Search for the Georgia Bulldogs All Access channel on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Georgia Bulldogs All Access, your official inside connection to Georgia football and all Georgia Bulldogs sports.
Georgia fans, college basketball is back, so grab your friends in a cold and refreshing Dos Equis lager and make the most of the big game. Whether you're at the bar with fellow Dogs or watching with your friend who went to that other school, Dos Equis is there for it all. So buy a cold, crisp Dos Equis and go Dogs. Dos Equis, proud partner of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2022, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
This game recap is brought to you by Regions. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card by visiting regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. Georgia led at the half 37-22. Nice 15-point lead, but sluggish coming out of the locker room for the second half. And Western Carolina went on a 14-2 run to make it a 2-point game. Georgia never gave up the lead. They haven't trailed all night. Right now they've been able to sustain enough to lead by 11. 61-50 is our score right now with 3:38 remaining. Leading scorers in the contest, Cario Oquindo for the Bulldogs, only Bulldog in double digits with 18 points. And Tyjon Claude has 18 for the Catamounts. We do not have any Scana Energy threes in the second half. We had 3 in the first half, but none in the second yet. Here's Jackson for a 3, and that's good with 9 on the clock.
Well, that's a pretty shot there.
Nice out-of-bounds play for them. They inbound it, one pass. They set up Jackson for the 3, and he connects his 4th of the half. He's got 17 and 5 threes in the game, and it's a 61-53 Georgia lead by 8.
And we'll get a 3 the old-fashioned way.
They go into Holt. He dunks it, rattles the rim. Basket support still shaking as Juice dunked it home and got fouled. And a free throw is coming for Jusan Holt.
We got to get the 3 the old-fashioned way here, but we'll get it. You answer their 3 with a 3, just a different kind of 3 on our end.
We'll take it. Woolbright, speaking of threes, his 3rd foul. He was the guilty party there. Holt to the line for an and 1. The Alabama transfer shoots and knocks it down. Jusan now with 5. Bridges comes out for Georgia. Anselm back in. 64-53, the lead back up to 11 with that old-fashioned Scana Energy 3.
Yeah, and he's back out on the floor with 4 fouls on him now, Anselm is.
3:14, 3:13, clock ticking down. Western Carolina into the front court, left into the floor. Jackson tried to connect on a 3 and draw contact at the same time. Leaned in and missed it short off the side of the rim from the left corner. And in the rebound, out of bounds, caroms into the end of the Western Carolina bench. It'll be Georgia ball. Frank Anselm will tuck in his jersey at 6'10", the Syracuse transfer. Will send it into Hill. And Russell Jones, the 5'8" guard, will pester him in the backcourt. He zips across the timeline there. Hill with his socks pulled up almost to his knees for Georgia. Gives it off to Oquendo. Carrio lobs to Anselm. Nice alley-oop from short range from 14 feet. They ran the alley-oop, and Frank finished with a two-handed dunk. Anselm now with 11 points. Ball gets loose on Western Carolina's end of the floor. We go sliding, trying to save it, but can't get it in time and touch it out last. It'll be Catamounts basketball, 2:41 remaining. Georgia's lead is back up to 13 now.
I was blocked. Was that Carrio that floated the ball up there to Anselm? Boy,
yes.
That was beautiful.
From inside the foul line. High rainbow pass on that last score by Georgia. Catamounts basketball. They feed it into the big guy. He's been effective here in the half. Claude, he tries to dribble and bump Anselm, but he lost the handle, had to chase it back down on the baseline. He's in the paint forever. Feeds it to Jackson. Reverse lay-in with one hand. Won't go. Hung on the rim and fell off. Georgia gets his miss. Hill got the rebound. Now Justin spins at the half-court line. Jones fouls him, but they don't blow the whistle. 2:14 remaining. 66-53. The Dogs may have enough to get to the finish line here. Oquendo picks up the dribble above the arc, feeds it into Anselm. Back to the basket, 2 dribbles, leans in. Jump hook, rolls off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound goes to Claude, the 6'8" junior forward for Western Carolina. Still not done. Less than 2 minutes to go. Jones, one-handed bounce feed right through the wickets of Claude. And he kind of looked through his legs and saw the ball bouncing behind him. It was picked up on the baseline by Georgia as the Catamounts turn it over. Unforced error there.
Everybody just kind of stopped. Like, well, where's the ball going?
Hill's got it. Dribbles on the logo for the Dogs.
Well, he's the one that ran over and picked it up.
Oquendo for 3. Rattles out. No good. Rebound taken by Claude. They have trouble with the handoff. Jackson picks up a rolling basketball. If Claude tried to hand it to him, and they dropped it. But the Catamounts keep it. 1:15 to go. 1:14. Clock moving. 13-point Georgia lead. Dogs still trying to play some defense here with 65 seconds to go. Woolbright drives to the left block. Jump stop. Shoots over Carrio. He lets him shoot and rolls in there good. Kind of around the rim a couple of times, and it sunk in there good for Woolbright, who picks up his first field goal of the game. And they call a quick timeout. They've got one left. 62 seconds to go. Georgia's lead is at 11, 66-55. Boy, points, Chuck, here in the second half been hard to come by for Georgia. The Dogs were very much more fluid in the first half, but that sluggish start in the second half kind of took something out of us, it seems.
Yeah, we've only got 29 points. I think that's right, 29 points here in the second half. And, after a 37-point first half. That sluggish start was, you go the first 6 minutes of the second half and you only have 3 points. That's not good. But, now to their credit, they picked it up, turned it on, and they drew a line in the sand. When the Catamounts got it down to 2 points, the Dogs said, that's it. That's it. And it's a good thing they did say that's it. And since that time, it's been all Georgia.
Yeah, they scored 6 straight after that and was able to maintain a decent-sized lead. Georgia gets pressure in the backcourt, able to inbound the basketball. Hill will bring it across the timeline. Under a minute to go. Campbell, tight man-to-man on Justin Hill, the Georgia guard. Justin, the transfer from Longwood University, with his arm on the defender trying to keep him away. Dribbling out the clock. It's down to 10. He's almost all the way back at the half-court line. Anselm with a screen. Hill explodes to the basket. Drive, stops for the first pivot. Then scores after the defender got in the air and floated away.
That was all him. I mean, that was
brilliant.
He ran the clock, and he scored.
Woolbright blocked on the other end by Cario on a drive to the basket. Dogs pick up the block and can run out the clock here. They don't have to shoot it again. Shot clock is off. Justin Gray, the head coach for Western, says that's enough. Georgia will just hold the basketball. Mike White says no more shooting. 10 seconds to go. The Dogs are going to win on opening night here in Mike White's debut as Georgia's head coach. Roberts lobs it across to Hill. Hill will hold it. And that's the end of the ball game as the clock reaches 0. Georgia able to pull away and win it at the end by double figures. Your final tonight, the Dogs 68, Western Carolina 55. The Dogs increased their lead in the series all time with the Cullowhee Catamounts to 9-0, and Georgia off to a 1-0 start this season. And here's what you may have forgotten. We had lost 12 in a row last year to finish the season, so we break a 12-game losing streak by winning the opener here tonight.
You're right. I had forgotten that, and I'm not sure I want to thank you for reminding me.
I'm just stating facts.
It is great. Yes, it is great to get off here to the right kind of start and to see the Dogs, get out of here with a win. Like I said, to start, you only get one. You only get this chance to make a first impression. This is it. One chance to make a first impression. So they got that first impression to be a good one. They showed character. And I think more than anything, that's what I take away from this, was that when it got down, when Western Carolina made that run in the second half, and that was mostly due to our play, but we allowed them to get back into it. But when they made that run, what did we do? We stopped them at 2, and as you said, went on that 6-0 run and then pulled away to go ahead and win it by 13.
And our leading scorer tonight was Cario Oquindo.
Who's coming over to be with us.
We're going to talk to Cario for a brief period here. The 6'4 junior guard from Titusville, Florida.
Super Cario. Super Cario, can you hear us?
I can hear you. What's up, man?
Hi,
congratulations,
how you doing, buddy?
my man.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And tell me about this one tonight, because it looks like you guys, if you got anything out of this, you got some character, because when they made the run in the second half, they got it to 2, but they never got the lead.
I would just say we just got to keep our foot on the gas pedal. Us being a new team and everything like that, it's kind of easy to come out here and say we got them down by 20 now. We can just let the foot off the gas pedal. So I think next game we showed some fight, but next game we just got to keep the foot on the gas pedal at halftime, and we'll be good.
It was good to see that resiliency, though. Big lead in the first half, and as Chuck was saying, they got to within 2, but you guys were able to maintain the lead, never gave it up, never had to play from behind. What were you able to do there in the second half to keep that lead and then go on to the 13-point win?
Our guy M.A., I think he got a little dinged up in the first half. He's our big energy guy coming out. So losing him at halftime, it kind of hurt us in the second half. So I think when we came out, we had to play some guys in some positions that we weren't used to. So I think when we got down and we realized that we were obviously the better team, we went out there and we played hard and we finished it out.
And you had 18 tonight, Cario, 7 of 11, a couple of threes, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. What are you guys learning about playing in a Mike White system? What's the main thing with a new head coach here this year that he's trying to encourage and teach you guys?
Definitely not turning the ball over, because last year turning the ball over for us was really hard. So I think when we come out, we play together. He just wants us to we change a lot of things up every day because we're learning about each other every single day because we're all new here. So I think playing in his system is really fun once you learn what you're doing.
Couple of things with you. One is you look bigger and stronger. Are you?
And we got Colin Crane in there helping us in the weight room every single day. He don't let us take a day off, so that's good.
Yeah, I
got about 10 more pounds of muscle, I think so.
Yeah, the way you're built reminds me a lot of myself. But, well, you don't have to laugh like that now. But the other thing is, what have you learned from Coach White since he coached against you last year that has helped your game? In other words, that maybe he said, this is what we tried to do to you last year.
Yeah. Well, I think he's letting me come and just play more of the guard position. I think last year I was more of a wing slasher type guy. He's letting me come off ball screens. He's teaching me how to read them more. I had a lob to my guy Frank. I don't think I ever threw one last year.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, so definitely just just know who I am as a player and expanding my game every single day at every position. So
You had 3 blocks tonight, too, Carrio. Doing a little bit of everything for the guys tonight. Congratulations on this one. It feels good to get that first one.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
All right, see you Friday.
See you, too.
Carrio Oquindo, our IBEW player of the game, is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. We are Georgia's electricians. Visit IBEW613.org. Carrio Oquindo, thank you for being here, buddy. 18 points, and he had a couple of rebounds. And as we said, 3 block shots tonight for Carrio. He was the Dogs' leading scorer. Dogs win the opener tonight over Western Carolina, 68-55. Stay tuned now for the Regions post-game report. To Dog fans, you can get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card from Regions. Just visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. Post-game coverage straight ahead. We'll hear from the winning head coach as well, Mike White, coming up in just a little bit as we continue here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
No matter your favorite game day traditions, it all starts with a cup of coffee to get you ready to cheer on a Bulldogs win. Community Coffee is a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs, serving Bulldog Nation with rich and smooth blends crafted right here in the USA. We've supported and celebrated thriving communities like the UGA family for over 100 years, and we believe there's no better day than game day for bringing people together. Community Coffee, strong as our roots.
Now more than ever, it's important to support our local businesses, whether it's your favorite pizza place or your neighborhood barber. That's why I'm a proud member of Georgia's Own Credit Union. Georgia's Own has been serving our local community for more than 85 years. Whether they are saving you money on a checking account or credit card, or supporting the people, places, and teams that we've grown to love, Georgia's Own can't be beat. To learn more, visit their website at georgiasown.org. I'm Chuck Dowdle, and I'm one of Georgia's Own.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, welcome to the Locker Room Report, presented by Regions. Regions. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. Coming up, reaction from the Dogs locker room, stats, and a look again at other games around the SEC and across the country. Now, let's go back courtside.
Back here at Stegman Coliseum in Athens on opening night, along with Chuck Dowdle and our producer-engineer of the Road Dog, Adam Gillespie. I'm Scott Howard, Luke Nadkarni in our Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. As Georgia is a winner here on opening night, 68-55, the final. The Dogs defeat Western Carolina. And Chuck, when it looked like we wouldn't have a whole lot of drama, we had a whole lot of drama in the second half as Georgia got up by 18, led by 15 at intermission, and that lead was dwindling down to just 2 points in the second half before Georgia stepped on the pedal again, as Carrio Oquindo said, and pulled away for the victory.
Yeah, and I think that's, to me, that's important. I mean, that's something that at some point down the road in a conference game, that'll pay some dividends for you. You know, that you learn from this. You know, we didn't come out with the energy and intensity that we needed to start that second half. Didn't keep our, as he said, foot on the pedal. And suddenly they were back in it and had a chance to take the lead. But as he also said, we realized we were the better team. And being the better team, he realized that's where they drew the line and said, no, we're the better team and we're going to win this game. Went on to win it.
Well, it's good you come to that realization that, and you have that kind of confidence that you realize that, hey, we are the better team and we need to start playing like it. And they were able to do that and pull away for the 13-point victory as Georgia went 1-2 against Southern Conference teams last year and now is 137-39 in the 118-year history in Georgia history against the teams from the Southern Conference. So some have challenged, some have not, most have not. But last year there were a couple of SoCon teams that came in here and beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Scott, you pointed it out to me.
You gonna blame me again?
But that's important what you pointed out that I'd forgotten about. But to those kids haven't forgotten, particularly those 5 kids that have returned from last year's team, including the guy that stood there with that mic, Cario Quendo. They'd lost 12 straight games that mattered, and now that streak's broken. That helps. I mean, that helps. And, because they suddenly realize, it is a new season. This is a new team. We can be better.
And to get that feeling of winning, I mean, this is a group that's largely new, hasn't played a whole lot of basketball together.
And that shows with the turnovers.
So, and you have to learn how to do that.
What do we have for turnovers tonight? 21. Yeah, and that's what that's coming from. Is that not yet they haven't quite made that chemistry, that bond where they know where everybody is and which way this guy's going, and you're going to have some turnovers obviously in games, but 21 is not a number that Coach White will be happy with. He will be happy with that rebounding number because I know he wasn't happy the other night in the exhibition game with how that ended up, and clearly had some words to say about, because he said that, at the time, he said, we're better than that at rebounding. And sure enough, he was absolutely right. They are better.
Yeah, and they showed that tonight. They were very aggressive on the glass and plus 16 in the final number on the boards, out-rebounding Western Carolina 42 to 36. And we'll get to all the numbers as we go through our Regions post-game show here. We're going to catch up with the head coach in just a little bit, Coach Mike White. He's talking to the team right now, I believe, and we'll catch him when he frees up in a few moments. This is the Regions Locker Room Report. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card by visiting regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. The final score again tonight on opening night here for this season, Georgia 68, Western Carolina 55. The Dogs go on the road now immediately. First time this season. That's game number 2, and that's coming up Friday night when they travel to Winston-Salem, North Carolina to take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons at 8:30 on Friday night. So that's the next game on the schedule, but the Dogs going to enjoy a win here tonight over Western Carolina. We'll continue with more of our post-game coverage here in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey Georgia, if you love playing Fantasy 5, you're going to love it even more because we're giving away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. Now through November 27th, 5 winners each week will win just by playing Fantasy 5. And the cash stack grows to $10,000. Play online or enter your non-winning Fantasy 5 ticket at fantasy5giveaway.com for your chance to be a weekly winner. It all ends November 27th, so play Fantasy 5 during the Stacks of Cash giveaway, only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings, look ahead to comeback seasons, and look up for hope and strength. Northside welcomes you into our community of care, guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. Led by our expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for players every game at Stegman Coliseum. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family-made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com.
This holiday, whether you're roasting a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or making a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, whether you're baking a pie with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples like Grandma's or ordering private selection cream pies when Grandma's pie is all gone, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Dogs a winner tonight here in Athens. Stegman Coliseum on opening night. Georgia 68, Western Carolina 55. That's your final here on the first of, 31 regular season games before SEC tournament postseason play way down the road in March of next year. So the Dogs plus 13 as we welcome you back inside the Regions Locker Room Report. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card by visiting regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. And the Dogs had 2 players in double figures in the final tally. Cario Oquendo, who was our IBEW player of the game, had 18, the Georgia leading score by going 7 of 11 from the floor. He had a couple of threes, 2 for 4 on three-pointers, went to the line for 3 shots, made 2 of those, had a couple of rebounds, 2 assists, 3 block shots tonight. He can really get up and protect the rim too when it's called for.
No doubt about it. And that's a big help. And by the way, Coach White played 11 guys tonight. You got I think 14 on the roster. He played 11, and obviously Jalen Ingram not available.
Right.
But so he played 11 of the 13 that he had available, and 8 of those 11 scored. So that was nice to see that they got guys that can contribute down that bench. And again, I think work on those turnovers, but the rebounding was nice. The shooting percentage for the most part was pretty good. We went through some spells there where it was a little difficult, but we also went through some pretty good spells. So all in all, I like the way they're playing defense and working with each other. And this team's only going to get better. Because they are new and learning each other and the way they play. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to, Scott.
The transfer from Syracuse, Frank Anselm, was the other Georgia player in double figures and had foul trouble in the first half, didn't play very many minutes at all in the first 20 minutes, but Frank able to pick it up in the second half. He finished with 11 points. He had 4 rebounds. And continued to play in foul trouble. He finished the game with 4, but Anselm doing a nice job inside for the Bulldogs. The rest of the scores for Georgia included Terry Roberts with 8 points. Jabri Abdur-Rahim had a 3-pointer, finished with 8 in the ballgame. Also, Justin Hill, the transfer guard from Longwood University in Houston, Texas, was a 8-pointer tonight. The rest of the scoring for Georgia, Moncrief, who Cario said was injured a little bit, I guess, in the first half, didn't play in the second half, finished with 6 points. And so Georgia had to work around that because M.A. is certainly a big part of this team, the transfer from Oklahoma State.
He started.
And
he's a starter tonight.
Holt finished with 5. Jusan Holt had 5 points. Braylon Bridges with 4, only 2 for 8 from the field, but was right around the basket all night long, just couldn't get some of those shots to drop for him. But he had 4 points and 6 rebounds in that contest, and I think that was it as far as the scoring is concerned for Georgia. 68-55, and is Coach White almost ready? Not quite yet. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
I'm here.
the coach
Let's
back
go.
in the coach's locker room. All right.
Congratulations, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
Mike, way to go. Win number 1. That's got to feel good. And Chuck and I were saying, last year it didn't finish real well for this team. The Georgia had lost their last 12. So for those returning guys that you have coming back on this team, they've got to feel good about getting that winning feeling again. Congratulations on this one.
Yeah, it's exciting for we've got 9 new players
that just experienced their first win at Georgia, and a bunch of staff members that just experienced their first win representing the University of Georgia. Perhaps, though, I'm most excited for the 5 returners that decided to come back and join us and be a part of, trying to get this thing going. So for Braylon and Jackson and those guys, Jalen and Jabri, Cario, I'm fired up that those guys, we're off to a 1-0 start. Did some good things, so much to build upon, so far to go for us to reach our best version. But I love the fight down the stretch in response to Western Carolina's incredible fight early second half.
And that's what I was going to – if you come out of here with anything, it's the character your team showed when it got down to 2 points and then they went, whoa, and they went on that 6-0 run, put a little breathing room in there, and then went on to win the game.
It's funny. We talked we're always going to learn and grow, whether it's a 20-point win, a 20-point loss, or what have you, whether we've won 5 in a row, lost 3 in a row. We're going to be real with our guys in terms of, we won, and that was the case after Georgia College. And we'll watch this film, in a couple days and break it down and watch it very carefully. And we're all doing the same thing as staffs. But I thought Georgia College, their fans were in here and they got pretty loud. They went on a run. And we really lost our poise and did some things out of character. And we had a huge offensive possession that we really butchered and didn't execute our stuff. And the ball kind of luckily fell into Kyron Lindsey's hands, and he laid it in. And we took a deep, sigh of relief. And is what I just told our guys in the locker room. Tonight was a little different. When that deer in headlights look came upon us, like, oh, my gosh, what are we going to do to respond to this adversity when – they just went on a run, man, and again, credit those guys. They were terrific early second half. And we executed, especially defensively, for the most part, of course, and we grinded out an ugly win.
Well, you certainly challenged shots. I mean, look, they made shots, but there was a lot of challenging of shots, which was great to see defensively. And 42 rebounds? Wow.
Yeah, guys were flying around. We got to get more offensive rebounds, especially on a night when you're struggling like that offensively. And way too many turnovers, of course. But I thought we did fly around. Jason Holt was a guy I didn't envision getting 17 minutes tonight, but it was one of those things. It's not like, Jackson Etter and Jabri and some of these guys, Mardrez McBride, it's not like they really struggled. It's just when you're struggling to get stops and he goes out there and you string together a bunch of stops and he's diving all over the floor, you earn more opportunity and more minutes. And it was hard to take him out at that point. But, a lot of challenged shots, some miscommunication, some lack of urgency, baseline out of bounds, and in transition. All that said, defending with the 3 was the key to the game for us against a team that was 3rd in the nation last year in 3-point attempts. And we only allowed 18. And for the most part, I bet you 15 or 16 were pretty well defended.
We're talking with Georgia head coach Mike White. And Mike, did you have to alter your plan for the second half? You didn't have M.A. in the second half. How was he, first of all? And did you alter your plan to work around him not being available?
Yeah, got an ankle injury from what I understood at halftime. I didn't even realize it. I don't know when he did it in the first half. And we did. We played a lot of small ball there out of necessity in the second half, playing Jason Holt and Jabri Abdul-Rahim both at the 4 at times, and they haven't got much opportunity there in practice. They haven't got many reps at the 4. But Frank had foul trouble. We had some struggles, with some other front court guys at times, and just out of necessity. But credit those guys for taking advantage, and we hope that M.A. gets back healthy really soon. He had a good first half, and he means a lot to us. He plays as hard as anyone on our team.
Coach, it's great to get this first win, and now you got to go back to work. And I know in horse racing, looking ahead, they'd say you're stepping up in class. You're the horses you're going to face this Friday will be a little better. I mean, but are you ready? Are these kids ready for this challenge and excited about that?
They'll be excited. Day off tomorrow. We've certainly got to get back to the drawing board offensively and defensively and show some growth and development late week as we prepare to play on the road in the ACC. We won't have 7,000 plus dogs yelling for us either. We we'd like to thank our fans that came out tonight. But we're on the road in a hurry. So are we ready? We'll find out. And I'll let you know post-game.
Coach Mike White, thanks for the visit. Mike, congratulations on win number 1.
Yeah,
first of many, we hope,
Coach.
as Georgia's head coach. Way to go tonight.
That feels good. It's exciting night, ways to go, and very appreciative. Thank you, guys.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
That is Coach Mike White from the coach's locker room. Dogs a winner tonight, 68-55. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. This is the Regions Locker Room Report. Dog fans, don't forget you can get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card by visiting regions.com/GoDogs and order yours today. We'll continue. We'll run down the final numbers of Georgia's 13-point victory over Western Carolina when we come back. 68-55 is the final score tonight. Dogs a winner here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is committed to protecting the state of Georgia. No one knows Georgia like we do because no one covers the state like we do. Georgia families are our only focus, and we have offices in just about every county of the state. You can call it our home field advantage. No matter where you are in Georgia, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is always the home team.
Georgia fans, college basketball is back, so grab your friends in a cold, refreshing Dos Equis lager and make the most of the big game. Whether you're at the bar with fellow dogs or watching with your friend who went to that other school, Dos Equis is there for it all. So buy a cold, crisp Dos Equis and go Dogs. Dos Equis, proud partner of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2022, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Go Dogs, sick 'em! Whether they're on the road or the home court, my family and I get loud and proud whenever the Dogs are unleashed. In this basketball season, Scana Energy is part of all the action as a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. So join my family and Scana in cheering on the Dogs to glory this season. Sign up with Scana today and get up to $100. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/GoDogs for details. Limited time offer, terms and conditions apply.
Hey Georgia, if you love playing Fantasy 5, you're going to love it even more because we're giving away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. Now through November 27th, 5 winners each week will win just by playing Fantasy 5. And the cash stack grows to $10,000. Play online or enter your non-winning Fantasy 5 ticket at fantasy5giveaway.com for your chance to be a weekly winner. It all ends November 27th, so play Fantasy 5 during the Stacks of Cash giveaway, only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
All right, while they clean up here inside Stegman Coliseum, we will clean up the broadcast. We'll bring you our final stats. They're brought to you by Northside Hospital, guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. With expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital. Our final numbers tonight, leading scorers for Georgia, as we said, Cario Oquindo with 18, Frank Anselm with 11 points. No one else in double figures for the Dogs. Justin Hill, Jabri Abdur-Rahim, and Terry Roberts all had 8 points for the Dogs. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, M.A. with 6, but he only played in the first half. Sustained an ankle injury in the first half, did not play in the second half. Jusan Holt had 5 for the Dogs off the bench. Braylon Bridges finished with 4. Leading rebounder for the Dogs tonight, Kyron Lindsey with 6, and Braylon Bridges with 6. Jabri had 5 boards as the Dogs out-rebounded. They out-rebounded Western Carolina by a 42-26 count. As a team, the Dogs shot 49% for the game, 27 of 55, 3 of 10 on threes, 11 of 15 at the foul line, 73%. Western Carolina's leading scorer, Tyjon Claude, 18 points on 8 of 16 shooting. Trey Jackson was firing up threes especially in the second half. Finished 5 for 10 on three-pointers in the game. Had 17 points to go with 6 assists. And the Catamounts shot only 35% for the game. 6 of 18 on threes, 33%. 9 of 18, 82% at the free throw line. But minus 16 on the glass, 42-26. They were out-rebounded. They did have 12 steals tonight. Georgia with the 21 turnovers, as pointed out by head coach Mike White a few moments ago. Way too many for this team to endure, but they survive it tonight. 21 turnovers, 14 for Western Carolina. Dogs win it. Final score of 68-55. Chuck, final thoughts before we send it back to Luke in the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios.
Well, final thoughts is you got this one. That was the goal. Come in here and get a win tonight. You got that accomplished. Now you get ready for as Coach White said, it's going to be entirely different environment, entirely different class of basketball team that you got to face on Friday night. So, Dogs have their work cut out for them. They'll learn. This was great, though. When you hear him say, we learn something no matter what, whether we win, lose, no matter whether it's 5 wins in a row, 6 losses in a row, whatever it is, we learn from it. And so it'll be good to see how the Dogs take what they learned from this game and apply it on Friday night and going forward.
Not only is it a step up in class, as you pointed out in your words, on Friday against Wake Forest, but it's on the road, and that's where Georgia's had a tremendous amount of trouble winning ball games over the last few years. Last year, they did not win a road game. 0-10 in true road games. They were 0-3 in neutral site games last year, away from Stegman Coliseum, 0-13. Their last true road win came at Auburn in February of 2021. So it's been difficult for Georgia to win on the road over the last 4 years. Hopefully on Friday they can start a different trend, but Wake Forest awaits in Winston-Salem. That will be an 8:30 tip-off and an 8:05 airtime for Georgia basketball this Friday night here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Thank you for joining us tonight for our season opener. The Bulldogs a winner over Western Carolina, 68-55. For Chuck Dowdle and for our producer-engineer, the Road Dog, Adam Gillespie, I'm Scott Howard. Luke Nadkarni standing by in the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios, and he is next here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
In SEC sports, the ifs come at you every minute. What if your QB had released the ball a second earlier? What if the head coach hadn't used his last time out? What if your team goes all the way this season? If you love the tradition, if you live for the rivalry, if you can't wait each week for the absolute edge of your seat action, Regions is right there with you as the official bank of the SEC.
Regions can't help you with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the infinite life.
Member FDIC.
It's time to cheer on the Bulldogs with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth, and at 5% alcohol, it's got the perfect kick to turn things up on game day. It's time to stock up for the season. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted. Please drink responsibly. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Piedmont is passionate about Georgia, about each and every person that make this state incredible. From farmers to creators, manufacturers to teachers, to the dedicated staff walking our hallways. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to empower you through tools that make it easy to book in minutes, check in before you walk in, and have your health information all in one place. Visit Piedmont.org. Piedmont. Real change lives here.
'Twas right before the holidays and down BMW Road, not a driver was stressed, only good vibes flowed. Could it be because one sat in his BMW's plush leather seats, or drove hundreds of miles without a slip in the sleet? Another drove far and yet was not stressed, since she was cruising with intelligent GPS.
I've started guidance.
This holiday season, take on the ultimate drive when you buy a BMW 5 Series X7 or X5.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com today. Go Dogs!
Georgia 68, Western Carolina 55. The Mike White era in Athens begins on a positive note. as the Bulldogs are 1-0. Luke Nadkarni back with you in the Piedmont Healthcare Studios as we continue the Regions Bank post-game report with a look at scores from around the SEC on a busy night. And there is still one game in progress in Oxford.
Joshua has it on the inbound for the Braves. Morrell runs through a steal, drives down the floor, reverse layup, basket, and he got fouled. Well, he helped his buddy Abram out. Take that one, Mr. Joshua.
David Kellum on the call from the Ole Miss Sports Network, and they actually just did go final 73-58 at the Pavilion in Oxford. Ole Miss opens with a win in the season opener. Elsewhere in the SEC, Mississippi State knocks off Texas A&M Corpus Christi 63-44 after a slow first half. They trailed by 5, 30-25 to the Islanders at the break. But for the Bulldogs, Tolu Smith records a double-double, 19 points and 11 rebounds. 10th-ranked Arkansas runs past North Dakota State at Bud Walton Arena, 76-58. Trayvon Brazile, a double-double, 21 points, 12 rebounds. And over on the Plains, 15th-ranked Auburn beats George Mason 70-52 as Johnny Broom leads the way with 12 points for the Tigers. Not so lucky tonight here in the SEC was Vanderbilt. They trailed by double digits at the half to Memphis and tried to fight back but came up short 76-67. The Tigers take care of the Commodores. Texas A&M, they get a big win over UL Monroe in College Station, 87-54. Aggies never trailed in this one as they win running away. Southern Indiana goes to Missouri, and the Tigers just hold them off. Southern Indiana actually outscored Missouri 60-50 in the second half to make it a little bit frantic, but Missouri holds on for the W. And Florida also gets a lopsided win at the O-Dome. They beat Stony Brook 81-45 behind 13 from Colin Castleton. Some other ranked SEC teams starting on a good note. Number 4, Kentucky, no trouble with Howard. They beat the Bison out of Washington, D.C., 95-63 at Rupp Arena. And number 11, Tennessee, stomps an in-state foe, 75-43 over Tennessee Tech as Tyreek Key pours in 17 for the Volunteers. And 20th ranked Alabama rounding out the SEC schedule tonight. They win, no trouble over last year's Big South champion, the Longwood Lancers, 75-54, the winner for Nate Oates' team. Our final score, Georgia 68, Western Carolina 55. The final, or the first game, I should say, of the Mike White era ends in a W for the Dogs, and we'll take our final post-game timeout and come back and put a bow on this one right here on the Georgia Bulldog Sports Network.
Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is committed to protecting the state of Georgia. No one knows Georgia like we do because no one covers the state like we do. Georgia families are our only focus, and we have offices in just about every county of the state. You can call it our home field advantage. No matter where you are in Georgia, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance is always the home team.
Georgia fans, college basketball is back, so grab your friends in a cold, refreshing Dos Equis lager and make the most of the big game. Whether you're at the bar with fellow dogs or watching with your friend who went to that other team, Dos Equis is there for it all. So buy a cold, crisp Dos Equis and go Dogs. Dos Equis, proud partner of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2022, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
This is Georgia Basketball, sponsored by Progressive. Life is full of challengeable moments. One thing no one would challenge, protecting your home and car by switching to Progressive. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Get ready for tip-off at the UGA Bookstore, featuring the best Bulldogs gifts and apparel. Shop all the great brands at the UGA Bookstore like Nike, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is the exclusive home of the UGA 10 collection by Peter Millar. The UGA Bookstore in the heart of campus next to the Tate Student Center. Shop online 24/7 at UGABookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
Why do challenge flags only exist in football? Think how useful they'd be in real life. Like when you're positive it's not your turn to walk the dog. Challenge flag. The neighbor's kid says it wasn't their ball that dented your car door? Challenge flag. Your friend paid you back, but you definitely don't remember that? Boom. Challenge flag. Imagine settling a disagreement with an instant replay. Why isn't the world like that? I guess it's because it's technically impossible. But it's nice to dream about. You know, one thing no one would ever challenge? Protecting your home and auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Luke Ned Carney here with you one final time on the Regions Bank post-game report. Georgia a 68-55 winner over Western Carolina in Mike White's first game as head coach in Athens. A few quick top 25 scores of games in progress here on a busy opening night in college basketball. Top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels in Chapel Hill trying to salt away an in-state foe. They lead UNC Wilmington 67-56. 44 seconds to play in the second half of that ball game. 12th-ranked Texas up on top of UTEP Miners, 2:32 to play in the second half from the brand new Moody Arena in Austin, Texas, and the Longhorns up 70-51 over UTEP. 11:59 to play in the second half. Number 17, Arizona, with an offensive outburst. They scored 59 in the first half, and they lead Nicholls State 81-52 with just under 12 to play in that ball game. Number 19, San Diego State, ahead of Cal State Fullerton 42-29 with 16:52 to play in the second. And just underway in the second half, way deep in the woods in Oregon, the 21st ranked Ducks have a 39-25 lead over Florida A&M at Matthew Knight Arena. One other score to pass along from earlier tonight on the women's side. The Dogs got a win in the Coach Abe era, the first game of the Coach Abe era. The debut is a 78-61 win over Coastal Carolina as Javin Nicholson leads 3 Lady Dogs in double figures with 14 points. That's about all we've got for you this evening from the Piedmont Healthcare Studios. A couple of programming notes before we sign off. Our next broadcast on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network will be Thursday, when you can hear Bulldogs Live with Scott Howard and head coach Kirby Smart starting at 7:06 across many of these same stations. And then the second hour, Neil Hondo Williamson will host Bulldog All-Stars with your calls as well. On Friday, the Georgia Bulldogs men's basketball team gets underway again. They will take on Wake Forest in an 8:30 tip-off from Lawrence Joel Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, looking to move their record to 2-0 in a rare early road game, true road game for the Dogs. And of course, on Saturday, 3 o'clock is our airtime with Dog Talk pregame. JD and Kevin Butler will bring you that for the first hour, and then Hondo, Scott, Lauren Smith, Eric Zier, and DJ Shockley will bring you the Napa Tailgate Show ahead of Georgia versus Mississippi State in Starkville, as the Dogs have a chance to clinch the SEC East Division. That's a 3 o'clock pregame show and a 7 o'clock kickoff on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. And of course, the Bulldog Brunch will take the airwaves at 10:06 till noon on Sunday morning following the Mississippi State game. Once again, our final score: Georgia 68, Western Carolina 55. Dogs are 1-0 in the Mike White era. For Adam Gillespie, Scott Howard, and Chuck Dowdle, my name is Luke Ned Carney. Thank you for joining us. If you're still making your way home from Stegman Coliseum, please do so safely, and we hope to have you for all of our programming here on the Georgia Bulldog Sports Network.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, you've been listening to the Locker Room Report, presented by Regions. Today's coverage has been brought to you by Regions. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Live fast, eat well with Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Georgia Farm Bureau. Always the home team. And by Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont empowers Georgians by changing healthcare, making it better, more simplified, and easier to access. Real change lives here. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, powered by Learfield and JMI Sports.